So there's this new breakfast hack that helps people lose weight, and my aunt gave it a try 7 weeks ago, and look at her now. That's my aunt.
If you can't manifest abundance, there are 3 simple reasons why not. I see so many people getting...
You said that 9 months ago. Now an estimated
all she can do is
40,000
smirk.
Palestinians
America
are
doesn't
dead.
like that.
Nearly 100 hostages remain. Just last week, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there's not a deal in the making. President Biden has not been able to break through the stalemate. How would you do it?
Well, let's understand how we got here. On October 7, Hamas, a terrorist organization, slaughtered 1,200 Israelis.
Why is she talking
Many
so
of them
slow?
young people who were simply attending a concert. Women were horribly raped. And so absolutely, I said then, I say now, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Because it is also true, far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. Children, mothers. What we know is that this war must end. It must end immediately, and the way it will end is we need a ceasefire deal and we need the hostages out. And so we will continue to work around the clock on that. Work around the clock, also understanding that we must chart a course for a 2-state solution.
Did she just say Israel must win?
In that solution, there must be security for the Israeli people and Israel, and in equal measure for the Palestinians.
Dude, that'll cost her the election.
I will assure you always, I will always give Israel the ability to defend itself, in particular as it relates to Iran and any threat that Iran and its proxies pose to Israel. But we must have a 2-state solution where we can rebuild Gaza, where the Palestinians have security, self-determination, and the dignity they so rightly deserve.
President Trump, how would you negotiate with Netanyahu and also Hamas in order to get the hostages out?
She's literally the vice president.
The killing of more innocent civilians in Gaza.
If I were president, it would have never started. If I were president, Russia would have never, ever, I know Putin very well, he would have never, and there was no threat of it either, by the way, for 4 years, have gone into Ukraine and killed millions of people when you add it up, far worse than people understand what's going on over there. But when she mentions about Israel, all of a sudden, she hates Israel. She wouldn't even meet with Netanyahu when he went to Congress to make a very important speech. She refused to be there because she was at a sorority party of hers. She wanted to go to the sorority party. She hates Israel. If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at predictions, and I hope I'm wrong about that one. She hates Israel. At the same time, in her own way, she hates the Arab population because the whole place is going to get blown up. Arabs, Jewish people, Israel. Israel will be gone. It would have never happened. Iran was broke under Donald Trump. Now Iran has $300 billion because they took off all the sanctions that I had. Iran had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah or any of the 28 different spheres of terror. And they are spheres of terror, horrible terror. They had no money. It was a big story, and you know it. You covered it very well, actually. They had no money for terror. They were broke. Now they're a rich nation, and now what they're doing is they're spreading that money around.
Yep.
Look at what's happening with the Houthis and Yemen. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. This would have never happened. I will get that settled and fast, and I'll get the war with Ukraine and Russia ended. If I'm president-elect, I'll get it done before even becoming president.
Vice President Harris, he says you hate Israel.
That's absolutely not true. I have my entire career and life supported Israel and the Israeli people. He knows that. He's trying to, again, divide and distract from the reality, which is it is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy.
Okay.
It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. It is well known that he said of Putin that he can do whatever
just in the living room all day.
the hell he wants and go into Ukraine It is well known that he said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un. And it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear.
Putin actually endorsed
you.
They
can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace. That is why.
Yeah, like the Gold Star families.
That we have to have a president who is not consistently weak and wrong on national matters, including the importance of upholding and respecting in highest regard our military.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
Bring up the Gold Star families, Trump.
And she's the one that caused it. That's weak on national security by allowing every nation last month for the year, 168 different countries sending people into our country. Their crime rates are way down. Putin endorsed her last week, said, I hope she wins. And I think he meant it.
Yep.
Because what he's gotten away with is absolutely incredible. It wouldn't have happened with me. The leaders of other countries think that they're weak and incompetent, and they are. They're grossly incompetent. And I just ask one question.
Oh, yeah,
why does Biden go in and kill the
You want to
Keystone
welcome me?
Pipeline
I'm probably going to go to
approve
Canada
the
again.
single
Get
biggest
something.
deal that Russia's ever made, Nord Stream 2, the biggest pipeline anywhere in the world going to Germany and all over Europe, because they're weak and they're ineffective. And Biden, by the way, gets paid a lot of money.
Thank you. We have a lot of issues to get to.
We'll be right back with much more of this historic ABC News presidential debate from the National Constitution Center right here in Philadelphia. Back to the moment.
I hear
Notice,
enemy vehicle,
I'm going to point out a few
unknown
things.
Enemy or friendly.
Trump is the bulldog. He's doing great.
The ABC News presidential debate.
She's not doing well. Let me break some stuff down. We'll come back to this. Don't go anywhere. If you're just tuning in, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit the bell notification, copy the link, share this everywhere.
So right where I'm at, there was an OP. You may put it up if you swapped it.
Where Trump, this is a 3v1. We knew this going into this. Trump is debating both moderators and Kamala Harris.
Let's Kamala talk forever.
It's totally biased. And you can tell because they're not fact-checking Kamala Harris. They're not fact-checking her at all. They're only fact-checking Donald Trump. And anytime they get into the fact-checking segment, Trump literally starts debating the moderators. It's like, Kamala's not capable.
Apparently this game is
on. You guys got to point this out. Kamala's not capable of rebutting Trump herself. She needs the moderators to fact-check for her. Fact-check, right? She needs the moderators to step in. She can't do it herself. She can't do it herself because she's not mentally capable. And one thing I will tell you, Americans aren't liking this smug. Do you see how the way she keeps looking at Trump? Every time Trump brings up her failures and people dying under her watch, she keeps looking at him with this.
Did you just hear her right now? And she's like laughing or some shit. Dude, she's been on like a Skype call for like well over like 2 hours, I feel. I'm gonna assume like her family or something, I don't know. Friend maybe, I don't know. My internet's running slower because of it.
Dolomite, there's one coming up at you.
Yeah, I'm trapped by a wall.
Yeah.
Should be the stairs around there.
He's on a laptop.
Maybe to your left.
Got a right in my position.
This smug, condescending look like he's an idiot for bringing it up. That's not going to sit well with voters, especially when the top two issues are the open border, which is her fault, and inflation, our fallen economy. I will tell you, that face is
whatever
not going to
happened
sit well with people. And I will predict this as well.
The fuck is his name? Dr. Disrespect? Is he like canceled or whatever?
I can already tell where they're going with this. They wanted Trump to talk a lot more. That's why she's getting more time than Trump. I'll predict this right now. It's looking like they'll probably run with the narrative that Trump is senile, Trump is old, he's rambling, and they'll probably even get Kamala. They'll go with this narrative. Even Kamala Harris looked concerned. She looked concerned for him because he looked senile, didn't know what he was talking about at all. I predict that's the narrative that's going to come out. They'll say she tried to look strong, but they'll probably spin this sick, twisted narrative that Kamala even looked concerned for Trump. Did you see the look on her face? She looked very concerned. It was like Biden all over again. Be ready for that. Be ready for that right out the gate from ABC, MSNBC, CNN, all of the fake news media. I could already tell that's where they're going and they're trying to take.
Wait, did you hear
Trump
about?
Sounds great. He's on topic.
The whole like omnidirectional shit in Call of Duty.
And he's rebutting the moderators, the debate moderators, but she's not
Bro,
rebutting
like I
him
saw a
because
crazy
she can't.
video
She's not
of
prepared
dude
for
spinning in the
That's
air
where
and
the
doing
moderators
a
step
quick
in.
scope.
That's where the moderators step in, right?
I'm just like, what the?
And that's why I think they're giving way more time to Trump, because they want him to keep talking and they don't want Kamala talking as much. But she's talking slow. She's the short bus VP. She's the short bus candidate. She's talking slow. It's a lot of word salad, and it's just the same regurgitated. Notice how Trump isn't doing that. You don't hear Trump using campaign talking points. The fact that she tried to use the Charlottesville thing again, like, oh my gosh, are we really going to keep doing this? Yeah, Americans are not buying it, dude. They're not going to buy it. This is not.
So stupid.
Trump is going to boost in the polls after this. I'm telling you, it's going to happen because she is deflecting and mocking the very issues that are pissing off millions of Americans right now.
Why are they trying to fix it?
And the fact that she continues to look smug like that as Trump brings it up, while under her watch, she's literally the vice president as she does this. She's flipping off and saying F you to millions of Americans while doing this, and that's the way it's coming off, guys. I'm telling you, nobody likes a contentious, annoying, nagging, whiny female. That's what she's been tonight. Nagging, whiny, and annoying, and contentious. America doesn't want that. I'm going to tell you right now, a man that's married to a woman doesn't want that. She's going the... Yeah, they chose the wrong way.
Did you wake up like recently?
To try to capture a narrative, but she's talking slow. She's going in circles with her word salad, and you could tell that they.
Did you not get good sleep again?
This same old Trump slander talking points. All right, we are back. Subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit the bell notification, comment, and share it everywhere. Let's go.
In the bush. We're going to continue here, and I want to turn to the war in Ukraine. We're now 2.5 years into this conflict. Mr. President, it has been the position of the Biden administration that we must defend Ukraine from Russia, from Vladimir Putin.
Finish your round of antibiotics or whatever.
It's in America's best interest to do so, arguing that if Putin wins, he may be emboldened to move even further into other countries. You have said you would solve this war in 24 hours. You said so just before the break tonight. How exactly would you do that? And I want to ask you a very simple question tonight. Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being uselessly, people being killed by the millions. It's the millions. It's so much worse than the numbers that you're getting, which are fake numbers. Look, we're in for 250 billion or more because they don't ask Europe, which is a much bigger beneficiary to getting this thing done than we are. They're in for $150 billion less because Biden and you don't have the courage to ask Europe like I did with NATO.
Wow.
They paid billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars when I said, either you pay up or we're not going to protect you anymore. So that's maybe one of the reasons they don't like me as much as they like weak people. But you take a look at what's happening. We're in for 250 to 270. 150. They should be forced to equalize. With that being said, I want to get the war settled. I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well. I have a good relationship, and they respect your president, okay? They respect me. They don't respect Biden? How would you respect him? Why? For what reason? He hasn't even made a phone call in 2 years to Putin. Hasn't spoken to anybody. They don't even try and get it. That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president. If I win, when I'm president-elect, and what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. This story will never happen. And in fact, when I saw him after I left, unfortunately left because our country has gone to hell. After I left, when I saw him building up soldiers, he did it after I left. I said, oh, he must be negotiating. It must be a good, strong point of negotiation. Well, it wasn't, because Biden had no idea how to talk to him. He had no idea how to stop it. And now you have millions of people dead. And it's only getting worse, and it could lead to World War III. Don't kid yourself, David. We're playing with World War III, and we have a president that we don't even know if he's... Where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
they
here...
They like a dog. We don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a president that doesn't know he's alive.
Just to clarify the question, do you believe it's in the U.S. best interest for Ukraine to win this war?
I think it's in the U.S. best interest to get this war finished and
That's right, no more wars.
I want to get your thoughts. Just to clarify
they
here.
They threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a president,
Mr. President,
that doesn't know he's alive.
Your time is up. Just to clarify the question, do you believe it's in the U.S. best interest for Ukraine to win this war?
I think it's in the U.S. best interest to get this war finished and just get it done.
That's right, no more wars.
Because we have to stop all of these human lives from being destroyed.
I want to take this to Vice President Harris. I want to get your thoughts on support for Ukraine in this moment, but also as
this is 2016 Trump
elected,
right here.
How would you deal with Vladimir Putin, and would it be any different from what we're seeing from President Biden?
Well, first of all, it's important to remind the former president you're not running against Joe Biden, you're running against me. I believe the reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up. And that's not who we are as Americans. Let's understand what happened. I actually met with Zelensky a few days before Russia invaded.
Give it up.
To define one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity.
So you want war?
I met with President Zelensky. I shared with him American intelligence about how he could defend himself. Days later, I went to NATO's eastern flank, to Poland and Romania. And through the work that I and others did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, because of the air defense,
wait, can you fly planes in this game?
Artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country.
So that's basically like a kill streak or something?
Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. And understand what that would mean, because Putin's agenda is not just about Ukraine. Understand why the European allies and our NATO allies are so thankful that you are no longer president, and that we understand the importance of the greatest military alliance the world has ever known, which is NATO, and what we have done to preserve the ability of Zelensky and the Ukrainians to fight for their independence. Otherwise, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
Vice President Harris, thank you. We've heard from both of you on Ukraine tonight.
Trump is a dictator. That's going to get eaten for lunch.
I wanted to respond to something you said earlier. Please, I'll give you a minute.
He would be sitting in Moscow, and he wouldn't have lost 300,000 men and women, but he would have been sitting in Moscow. Quiet, please. He would have been sitting in Moscow. He's got nuclear weapons. You don't have to talk about that. He's got nuclear weapons. Nobody wants us to know that. And eventually, maybe he uses it, maybe he hasn't been that careful. Nobody likes to talk went in and he started the war because everything they said was weak.
Oh, can you get it?
They said the wrong things. That war should have never started. She was the emissary. They sent her in to negotiate with Zelensky and Putin, and she did. And the war started 3 days later. And that's the kind of talent we have with her. She's worse than Biden. In my opinion, I think he's the worst president in the history of our country. She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country. But let me tell you something. She is a horrible negotiator. They sent her in to negotiate. As soon as they left, Putin did the invasion.
President, let me bring up something. You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you ever met Vladimir Putin? Can you clarify tonight?
Yet again, I said at the beginning of this debate, you're going to hear a bunch of lies. And that is another one. When I went to meet with President Zelensky, I've now met with him over 5 times. The reality is it has been about standing as America always should, as a leader upholding international rules and norms, as a leader who shows strength, understanding that the alliances we have around the world are dependent on our ability to look out for our friends and not favor our enemies because you adore strong men instead of caring about democracy. And that is very much what is at stake here. The President of the United States is commander-in-chief, and the American people have a right to rely on a president who understands the significance of America's role and responsibility in terms of ensuring that there is stability and ensuring we stand up for our principles and not sell them for the benefit of personal flattery.
You talked about
She's
Ukraine.
whining again. I guess her strategy was just be a whiny Karen.
I want to move on to Afghanistan.
Said Trump did the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He got these countries, the 28 countries at the time, to pay up. He said, I've never seen, he was the head of NATO. He said, I've never seen. For years, we were paying almost all of NATO. We were being ripped off by European nations, both on trade and on NATO. I got them to pay up by saying, one of the statements they made was, if you don't pay, we're not going to protect you. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done it. He said it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen done.
Came up in the first hour of the debate. And we go to a poignant moment today on Capitol Hill honoring the soldiers. The chaotic withdrawal.
Watch how this will be against
I do
Trump.
want to ask the Vice President, do you think you can get any responsibility for all played out?
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century. But let's understand how we got to where we are. Donald Trump, when he was president, negotiated one of the weakest deals you can imagine. He calls himself a deal maker. Even his national security advisor said it was a weak, terrible deal. And here's how it went down. He bypassed the Afghan government. He negotiated directly with a terrorist organization called the Taliban. The negotiation involved the Taliban getting 5,000 terrorists, Taliban terrorists. Get this. And the president at the time invited the Taliban to Camp David, a place of storied significance for us as Americans, a place where we honor the importance of American diplomacy, where we invite and receive respected world leaders. And this former president, as president, invited them to Camp David because he does not, again, appreciate the role and responsibility.
She's choking on her lies.
The President of the United States to be commander-in-chief with a level of respect. And this gets back to the point of how he has consistently disparaged and demeaned members of our military, fallen soldiers, and the work that we must do to uphold the strength and the respect of the United States of America around the world.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, who responds to her saying that you began the negotiations with the Taliban?
So
let's go.
If you take a look at that period of time, the Taliban was killing our soldiers, a lot of them, with snipers. And I got involved with the Taliban because the Taliban was doing the killing. That's the fighting force within Afghanistan. They don't bother doing that because, you know, they deal with the wrong people all the time. But I got involved. And Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul. And for 18 months, we had nobody killed. We did have an agreement negotiated by Mike Pompeo. It was a very good agreement. The reason it was good, it was we were getting out. We would have been out faster than them, but we wouldn't have lost the soldiers. We wouldn't have left many Americans behind, and we wouldn't have left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful military equipment behind. And just to finish, they blew it. The agreement said you have to do this, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. The agreement was terminated by us because they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
I want to move on.
And these people did the worst withdrawal, and in my opinion, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And by the way, that's why Russia attacked Ukraine, because they saw how incompetent she and her boss are.
President Trump, thank you. I want to move on now to race and politics in this country. Mr. President, you recently said of Vice President Harris, quote, I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. I want to ask a bigger picture question here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity?
This is actually a question.
And I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something. I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words, so I'm asking.
I don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was not black, and she put out, and I'll say that. And then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her. That's up to her.
Vice President Harris, your thoughts on this?
I think it's, I mean, honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president consistently over the course of his career attempted to use race to divide the American people. You know, I do believe that the vast majority of us know that we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want this kind of approach that is just constantly trying to divide us, and especially by race. And let's remember how Donald Trump started. He was land, he owned buildings, and he
real
was
estate
investigated
developer
because he
gosh.
refused to rent property to black families. Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the execution of 5 young black and Latino boys who were innocent, the Central Park 5.
Here we go again. This didn't work in 2016. This
Calling
didn't
for
work.
their execution. This is the same individual who spread birther lies about the first black president of the United States.
Based.
And I think the American people want better than this. Want someone who understands as I do. I travel our country.
Talking about herself.
We see in each other a friend. We see in each other a neighbor. We don't want a leader who is constantly trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other. I mean, all the time. Can we please just have discourse about how we're going to invest in the aspirations and the ambitions and the dreams of the American people?
You guys are
Knowing that
literally
regardless
making this about
of
race.
people's color or the language their grandmother speaks, we all have the same dreams and aspirations and want a president who invests in those, not in hate and division.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
So they ask a
If
question
you want
like
to sell
that.
your house, this is now your 3rd time.
This is the most divisive presidency in the history of our country. There's never been anything like it. They're destroying our country, and they come up with things like what she just said, going back many, many years, when a lot of people, including Mayor Bloomberg, agreed with me on the Central Park 5. They admitted, they said, they pled guilty. I said, well, if they pled guilty, they badly hurt a person, killed a person ultimately. And if they pled guilty, then they pled, we're not guilty.
Why does this
But
matter?
This is a person
Doesn't matter.
that has to stretch back years, 40, 50 years ago, because there's nothing now. I
Exactly.
built one of the greatest
doesn't matter.
economies in the history of the world, and I'm going to build it again. It's going to be bigger, better, and stronger. But they're destroying our economy. They have no idea what a good economy is. Their oil policies, every single policy. And remember this, she is Biden. You know, she's trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman, she says. She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had, a horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad, and she can't get away with that.
Thank you. Your time is up, Lindsay.
I want to respond to that, though.
They're going to clip that and
Briefly.
say he's mentally unstable.
Clearly, I am not Joe Biden.
It's coming,
and I am
watch.
certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country.
It's your administration.
One who believes in what...
The worst inflation we've ever had, a horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad, and she can't get away with that.
They're going to clip that and say he's mentally unstable.
Clearly, I am not Joe Biden.
It's coming,
and I am
watch.
certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer...
And I'm going to build it again. It's going to be bigger, better, and stronger. But they're destroying our economy. They have no idea what a good economy is. Their oil policies, every single policy. And remember this, she is Biden. You know, she's trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman, she says. She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had, a horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad, and she can't get away with that.
They're going to clip that and say he's mentally unstable.
Clearly, I am not Joe Biden.
It's coming,
and I am
watch.
certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country.
It's your administration.
One who believes in what is possible. One who brings a sense of optimism.
Right.
About what we can do.
Because you're doing that now.
Always disparaging the American people. I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans and let's compare the plans. I have a plan to give startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction to pursue their ambitions, their innovation, their ideas.
Price controls.
I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life to help you in that most critical stage of your child's development. I have a plan that is about allowing people to be able
She's
to
MLK
pursue
now.
what has been fleeting in terms of
Instead of I have a dream, I have a plan.
by offering a help with down payment of $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. That's the kind of conversation, I believe, David, that people really want tonight, as opposed to a conversation that is constantly about belittling and names.
He's not answering. He's not asking the questions.
Vice President Harris, thank you. Let's turn to policy.
President
Let's
Trump,
turn back
we
to
have
policy.
to move on. President Trump.
Let's turn to policy, please.
To defund the police, she has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun. She has a plan in Pennsylvania or anywhere else. That's what her plan is for just
I'm sorry, we're going to move on, Vice President. President Trump, this is now your third time running for president. You have long vowed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. You have failed to accomplish that. You now say you're going to keep
Damn, look at the
Obamacare
forehead on that.
unless we can do something much better. Last month, you said you would so today, 9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy health care. Always was. It's not very good today. And what I said, that if we come up with something, and we are working on things, we're going to do it and we're going to replace it. But remember this, I inherited Obamacare because Democrats wouldn't change it. They wouldn't vote for it. They were unanimous. They wouldn't vote to change it. If they would have done that, we would have had a much better plan than Obamacare. But the Democrats came up. They wouldn't vote for it. I had a choice to make when I was president. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, never going to be great, or do I let it rot? And I felt I had an obligation, even if politically it would have been good to just let it rot and let it go
Just
away.
gave my mom an earful from text, so see how that goes.
Very good people. I have a lot of good
I let my mom know, like, I'm not gonna fucking deal with this shit, man. Like, especially if I have to work on my days off. This is, like, work at home, I mean. I have to deal with this shit. I don't give a fuck. Did I already tell you that, because of her, fucked up an interview? Yeah. I had to do an interview from home, and the minute I was about to get an interview, she came in loud as fuck, dog, and it fucked up everything, so... It's not the first time where shit has interfered with me trying to move forward with my life, so... Getting fucking irritated by it now. Yeah, an internship.
People in that administration. We read about the bad ones. We had some real bad ones too, and so do they. They have really bad ones. The difference is they don't get rid of them. But let me just explain. I had a choice to make. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, or do I let it rot? And I saved it. I did the right thing. But it's still never going to be great, and it's too expensive for people. And what we will do is we're looking at different plans. If we can come up with a plan that's going to cost our people, our population, less money and be better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it. But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So, just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. But if we come up with something, I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive. And there are concepts and options we have to do that. And you'll be hearing about it in the not-too-distant future.
Vice President Harris, in 2017, you supported Bernie Sanders' proposal to do away with private insurance and create a government-run healthcare system. 2 years later, you proposed a plan that included a private insurance option. What is your plan today?
Well, first of all, I absolutely
Price controls.
support, and over the last 4 years as vice president, private healthcare options. But what we need to do is maintain and grow the Affordable Care Act. But I'll get to that, Lindsay. I just need to respond to a previous point that the former president has made. I've made very clear my position on fracking, and then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
You want to ban assault weapons?
As it relates to the Affordable Care Act, understand, let's just look at the history to know where people are. When Donald Trump was president, 60 times he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. 60 times. I was a senator at the time when I will never forget the early morning hours when it was up for a vote in the United States Senate. And the late, great John McCain, who you have disparaged as being, you don't like him, you said, at the time because he got caught. He was an American hero. The late, great John McCain, I will never forget that night, walked onto the Senate floor and said, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't get rid of the Affordable Care Act. You have no plan. And what the Affordable Care Act has done is eliminate the ability of insurance companies to deny people with pre-existing conditions. I don't have to tell the people watching tonight, you remember what that was like? Remember when an insurance company could deny if a child had
Here comes
asthma,
the Blues Clues.
if someone was a breast cancer survivor, if a grandparent had diabetes.
Dora the Explorer.
And thankfully, as I've been vice president and we, over the last 4 years, have strengthened the Affordable Care Act, we have allowed for the first time Medicare to negotiate drug prices on behalf of you, the American people. Donald Trump said he was going to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices. He never did. We did.
Oh my God.
And now
Can't
we
even
have
talk.
capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. Since I've been vice president, we have capped the cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000 a year. And when I am president, we will do that for all people, understanding that the value I bring to this is that access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. And the plan has to be to strengthen the Affordable Care Act, not get rid of it, pass and roll up in terms of where Donald Trump stands on
I
that.
want to move to an issue that's important for a lot of
Who stayed? Number one, John McCain fought Obamacare for 10 years. But it wasn't only Democrats that kept it going. And you know what? We can do much better than Obamacare, much less money. But she won't improve private insurance for people, private medical insurance. That's another thing she doesn't want to get. People are paying privately for insurance that have worked hard and made money, and they want to have private. She wants everybody to be on government insurance where you wait 6 months for an operation that you need immediately.
President Trump, thank you. We have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change. President Trump, with regard to the environment, you say that we have to have clean air and clean water. Vice President Harris, you call climate change an existential threat. The question to you both tonight is what would you do to fight climate change? And Vice President Harris, we'll start with you. 1 minute for you each.
Well, the former president had said that climate change is a hoax.
Here comes the flip-flopping.
And what we know is that it is very real. You ask anyone who lives in a state who has experienced these extreme weather occurrences, who now is either being denied home insurance or it's being jacked up. You ask anybody who has been the victim of what that means in terms of losing their home, having nowhere to go. We know that we can actually deal with this issue. The young people of America...
Who's losing their house over the climate?
And I am proud that as vice president over the last 4 years, we have invested $1 trillion in a clean energy economy, while we have also increased domestic gas production to historic levels. We have created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs while I have been vice president. We have invested in clean energy to the point that we are opening up factories around the world. Donald Trump said he was going to create manufacturing jobs. He lost manufacturing jobs.
I can't do the whining,
And I'm
dude.
also proud to have the endorsement of the United Auto Workers and Sean Fain, who also know that part of building a clean energy economy includes investing in American-made products, American automobiles. It includes growing what we can do around American manufacturing and opening up auto plants, not closing them like happened under Donald Trump.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
That didn't happen under Donald Trump. Let me just tell you, they lost 10,000 manufacturing jobs this last month. It's going, they're all leaving. They're building big auto plants in Mexico, in many cases owned by China. They're building these massive plants, and they think they're going to sell their cars into the United States because of these people. What they have given to China is unbelievable.
Yep.
But we're not going to let that. We'll put tariffs on those cars so they can't come into our country, because they will kill the United Auto Workers and any auto worker, whether it's in Detroit or South Carolina or any other place. What they've done to business and manufacturing in this country is horrible. We have nothing because they refuse. You know, Biden doesn't go after people because supposedly China paid him millions of dollars. He's afraid to do it. Between him and his son, they get all this money from Ukraine. They get all this money from all of these different countries. And then you wonder, why is he so loyal to this one, that one, Ukraine, China? Why is he? Why did he get $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife? Why did she pay him $3.5 million? This is a crooked administration, and they're selling our country down to
President Trump, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with closing statements from both of our candidates. An historic night, this ABC News presidential debate from Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
See if we get them. Are they even looking at each other? Well, we'll come back because I think Trump gets the final word. But I mean, we all knew this was coming.
All right, let's go.
And by the way, Trump, phenomenal. He's answering. Energy, clapbacks. He cooked her multiple times tonight. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. Asking the right questions. I really wish he would have brought up the Gold Star families a little more. Or Lake and Riley. But Trump is on point because I'm going to tell you, Kamala, her facial expressions, I'm going to keep saying this, are not, they should have told her to not do that. They really should have told her to not do that because, yes, you may be limited on your words,
Slam your meat
Americans are paying attention to your body language. They're paying attention to your facial expressions. And anytime Trump brings up, and we're talking about right now the Afghanistan withdrawal, she immediately goes to, well, you know, it's weird how she goes from Well, Trump brought us to this point, and, you know, but it's a good thing that we ended it. And she doesn't want to talk about how. She doesn't want to talk about how they did it. Because the blood is on her hands. And whenever they talk about illegal immigration, she doesn't talk about what's actually going on. She just brings up the bill. The bill! The bill! How did the situation even begin with Kamala Harris? But not looking good. She's literally stuttering over her words. That last interaction right there. Well, this last, what was that, 30 minutes? That last 30 minutes. Yeah, she's stuttering over her words. She's speaking and it's slow. It's strange, slow, carousel, merry-go-round speak. And for me, guys, I can't do the whining. I can't do it. I can't do the whining. I can't do the contentious, nagging woman. Yeah, please, no, thank you. That is just it's such a turnoff, dude. Not like sexually. I mean, it can be a turnoff sexually, but in this context, it just like totally turns me off. Like it turns me out. It tunes me out because I guess her strategy was just be a nagging, condescending Karen. Chat. I don't know. What do you think? If you're just tuning in, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit that bell notification, copy the link, please share it absolutely everywhere. But Trump is on point. He hasn't been baited into anything. I do think he handled the Roe v. Wade situation very well. He stuck to what needs to be said. Let them take you out. It's not in your control. It's a state's issue now. I think he did that pretty well. Didn't get baited. They were baiting. They continue to bait. Trump is debating the moderators on top of the fire. And not only is he debating them, he's having to be worked against to a point where they are protecting her. They're not fact-checking her at all. They're fact-checking Donald Trump. And so this isn't much of a one-on-one debate. But with that, I think Trump is doing well. I think he's doing well. But I still think we're going to take a look at the fake news media reactions after this. We'll look at CNN, MSNBC, and kind of see where they're going. But I do predict that they're going to try to spin him off as some kind of senile old man. That is, especially that last interaction where, you know, Trump should have clarified because they're going to use it again. We know what he did. He says she's Biden. They're the same administration. But they're going to take that and say he's senile. He thinks she's Joe Biden. We all know that's not what he meant. But those are the types of things that they'll probably take and they'll pin against Trump. And I predict that's where they're going to take this. I predict it won't work. It's not going to sit. It's not going to hit. They'll do it probably all night tonight. They'll do it probably for the rest of the news week, and then it'll die out. It'll die out by Monday. But I predict that's the narrative that they will go with and they'll run with right now. Because she's flip-flopping. She doesn't make any sense. But here we are. We are back. I think Trump has the final word.
Pennsylvania. Here again, David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
Welcome back tonight. The time has come for closing statements. And Vice President Harris, we begin with you.
So I think you've heard tonight two very different visions for our country. One that is focused on the future, and the other that is focused on the past, and an attempt to take us back. But we're not going back. And we can chart a new way forward.
Oh, God.
And a vision of that includes having a plan.
Comrade Kamala,
understanding
talk.
the aspirations, the dreams, the hopes, the ambition of the American people, which is why I intend to create an opportunity economy, investing in small businesses, in new families, in what we can do around protecting seniors, what we can do that is about giving hardworking folks a break and bringing down the cost of living. I believe in what we can do together that is about sustaining America's standing in the world and ensuring that we have the respect that we so rightly deserve, including respecting our military, and ensuring we have the most lethal fighting force in the world.
She wants
I
war.
will be a president that will protect our fundamental rights and freedoms, including the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. I'll tell you, I started my career as a prosecutor. I was a DA, I was an attorney general, a United States senator, and now vice president. I've only had one client, the people. And I'll tell you, as a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them, are you okay?
Oh, please.
And that's the kind of president we need right now.
Oh, please.
Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first.
Tell that to the Gold Star
I intend
families.
to be a president for all Americans and focus on what we can do over the next 10 and 20 years to build back up our country by investing right now in you, the American people.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things.
Do it now.
Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years.
That's right.
They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it, and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack, we're not going to take fossil fuel, we're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year, they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just asked one simple question. Why didn't she do it? We're a failing nation. We're a nation that's in serious decline. We're being laughed at all over the world. All over the world they're laughed. I know the leaders very well. They're coming to see me. They call me. We're laughed at all over the world. They don't understand what happened to us as a nation. We're not a leader. We don't have any idea what's going on. We have wars going on in the Middle East. We have wars going on with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to end up in a third world war, and it'll be a war like no other because of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry. I rebuilt our entire military. She gave a lot of it away to the Taliban. She gave it to Afghanistan. What these people have done to our country, and maybe toughest of all, is allowing millions of people to come into our country. Many of them are criminals, and they're destroying our country. The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
President Trump, thank you. And that is our ABC News presidential debate from here in Philadelphia at the National Constitution Center. I'm Lindsay Davis.
And I'm David Muir. Thank you for watching here in the U.S. and all over the world, and from all of us here at ABC.
Okay, that's over. That's over. Don't go anywhere. I want to see what... Let's see if they... Opposite directions. Opposite directions. See, she took her little notes. Look, she got lost. Was that Doug? Was that gay Doug trying to get some clout? Gay Doug. Okay, let's see what the fake news media is gonna say, because I'm very curious to see where they go with this. Let's pull this up. Let's take a look at CNN real quick. Let's see what narrative they're going with.
Supporters have got to be pleased with her performance this evening, which was focused on, telling voters that she cares about them and she has a plan for them, and over baiting Donald Trump into talking about crowd sizes and court cases and Nancy Pelosi and Russiagate and grievance. And he took the bait almost every time, if not every time. He cited Fox hosts as fact checkers. He invoked Hungarian strongman Viktor Orban as a character witness. It was like a 4chan post come to life. He really took her bait almost every time. If you're a fisherman, as I struggle to be, you would be lucky to have your bait taken so often. Instead of focusing on Trump filling in the blanks for those voters unfamiliar with her, he focused on stuff as if he was the incumbent. I'm not sure Harris necessarily did enough to fill in the blanks that undecided voters might have about specifics about her plans, but there's no question Democrats have to feel good tonight about the trade of Biden for Harris, who showed herself to be a strong candidate. She delivered a strong message, and yes, she prosecuted the case against Trump. She started the debate, she began the debate approaching Donald Trump, shaking his hand at the podium, kind of forcing him to shake her hand, introducing herself, and from that moment on, Dana, she took the fight right to him.
Let's see.
I'm just looking up. This is the quote that I think really sums up what Kamala Harris, her whole message was tonight. You're not running against Joe Biden. You're running against me. It was obviously a planned line, but it deftly explains how she kind of triangulated and she separated herself, obviously, from Donald Trump and where she needed to from Joe Biden. And what was so fascinating is that she didn't do it on defense. She did it on offense. Really, in every turn, there are real weaknesses in the Biden-Harris administration, from the economy to immigration to Afghanistan. Just take Afghanistan for an example. Instead of talking about the disastrous, chaotic withdrawal, she turned it to the fact that he invited the Taliban to Camp David.
She deflected it because it's her fault.
Exactly.
It's not about the pullout. It was about the botch.
That she was baiting him. She baited him, and he took the
type of way they pulled out.
As you said.
Je ne t'entends pas.
She was also using the language that he usually uses. She kind of
Tu
stole
saurais venir avec moi, on va poser une ligne de défense
things
vers
like
l'arrière.
that really get to him. The other thing that I just want to add is that she began to turn to who she is by saying, I'm not Joe Biden, I'm Donald Trump. I'm from a different generation of leaders.
What?
And she clearly wanted
I'm not Joe
people
Biden,
to
I'm Donald
understand what
Trump?
she's made of. For people who are really wanting to know all of her
What?
17-point
Dana
policy
Bash is a
plans, they might be
retard.
disappointed. But for people
You can't even get her
who wanna know
glazing
who
right.
she is and what she's made of, they got it tonight. Now, the voters are going to have to decide, and it's going to take them a while to digest.
What a
it. We don't
moron.
want to suggest
I'm not Joe
that we
Biden,
have
I'm
any
Donald
idea
Trump.
how this is going to play, but those are the observations for how she handled
she can't
that,
even get her
and the way that
propaganda
he
right.
did not handle it well.
I think it's pretty simple. I mean, she had a plan. She executed on that plan. The plan was
She
to,
execute.
quite simply, bait Donald Trump, to force him to battle on her turf at every turn. I mean, she talks about China. He starts defending his love for Xi Jinping. She talks about, she talks about his sexual assault cases. He starts defending himself on that turf.
Yeah, it's called a debate.
She wanted to do that, but I also think I did see her trying to kind of really lay the groundwork on the policy issues that the campaign thinks will matter, particularly in the state of Pennsylvania, right? The Commonwealth, of Pennsylvania. The very first answer that she gave was about her economic policy, where she talked about the $50,000 that they want to put out there for small business owners, that they would get in a tax refund. I thought that was incredibly important, because they clearly know that there were a lot of things that they put out on economic policy. Not all of them were received well.
Yeah, we know. That's why she's not talking about it. Let's take a look at MSNBC. I like to listen to what the fake news is saying, because it kind of gives me the ability to analyze where they're going with this. Let's see what these retards are saying.
You heard the person who was president of the United States on January 6th say to the American people, I wasn't responsible for security.
Nancy Pelosi literally said she was responsible.
And he's saying, when they're attacking the Capitol and I'm doing nothing for 2 hours and more than 2 hours, I wasn't responsible for security. Another thing you isolated where he said that Democrats and
Joy Reid,
want to vote
Rachel
for state
Maddow.
overturning. Here's the problem with that lie. That's his worst lie of the night, because he was lying to the voters about the voters.
Yeah.
Wanting for 2 hours and more than 2 hours, I wasn't responsible for security. Another thing you isolated where he said that Democrats and
Joy Reid,
want to vote
Rachel
for state
Maddow.
overturn. Here's the problem with that lie. That's his worst lie of the night, because he was lying to the voters. About the voters. He was lying about you, and you know it. More than 60% of the country is sitting there saying, he's lying about me. I'm a Republican, and I didn't want Roe overturned. I'm a Democrat. I'm an independent. I didn't want Roe overturned. He actually lied directly to the voters about the voters.
Joy? I think the moment that the debate went completely sideways for Donald Trump was the moment when Vice President Harris was very smart about saying I'm the only person. This was an answer about immigration. David Murray.
You're going to play Star Wars.
Asked about illegal border crossings. We knew that question was coming, that they were going to talk about that, talking about it reaching a record high, numbers have dropped, blah, blah, blah. She says, I'm the only person on this stage who's prosecuted transnational gangs trafficking drugs and human beings. She talks about that
Photos
bill
of her
that
are
was
bad.
that was on the table that Donald Trump called Republicans and said, don't vote for because he wanted the issue, but he didn't want to solve the problem. He just wanted the issue of the election. And then she did what I think is the smartest thing of the night, and it is the thing that we got from Hillary Clinton that she was being advised to do.
Oh, and it worked for her, huh?
The one thing that would completely destabilize him for the rest of the debate, and it did. And you named it when he said, essentially he said that we need a leader who focuses on solutions. He's going to talk about immigration when it's not even the subject, because he kept going back to the millions of people and they're all criminals. And he kept doing it. And she
that's
called
the top issue in this election.
Talk about immigration when it's not the question. And I invite you to attend one of his rallies where he talks about Hannibal Lecter. And I want you to know
it's
that
a joke.
people at these rallies start leaving early. What you won't hear him talk about is you. That ended Donald Trump's, the cheese being firmly affixed to the cracker. He
no way.
literally, after that, could not stop interrupting. He could not stop going back. He could not stop going.
You have a Keurig machine at home?
Going right back to his special place where he went on about immigration. He argued.
Look
he
how
then
ugly
turned
this
around
dude
and
is.
interrupted
Do you like
and
it?
tried to keep arguing about crowd size. He tried to say we're going to World War III. He said millions of towns, Aurora, Springfield.
I think
He
you
said
could
that
get,
multiple times.
like
They're
hot
eating dogs and
chocolate
cats. It was
pods.
after that he went into the dogs and cats. David
Based.
breaks in and says no.
Water? Yeah.
His special place where he went on about immigration. He argued.
Look
he
how
then
ugly
turned
this
around
dude
and
is.
interrupted and tried to keep arguing about crowd size. He tried to say we're going to World War III. He said millions of towns, Aurora, Springfield. He said that multiple times. They're eating dogs and cats. It was after that he went into the dogs and cats. David breaks in and says, no, sir. There is no credible reporting about that. He kept rambling. I think
Yeah, a
what
black
Vice
man,
President Harris managed to do
right?
was
A black
every
man
single
reported
thing
it.
that the campaign beforehand said they wanted her to do. She got her policy points out. After this debate, what people will think about when they think about Vice President Harris is $25,000 for building a first home, $50,000 for a new business. They will
And
think
we
about
all
the
gotta pay
$6,000
for
tax
it.
credit, 'cause she
We
kept
all
saying
gotta
it.
pay for it.
And what he kept saying was rambling, bizarre nonsense that made him look old.
Nope.
It made him look unstable.
Nope.
It made him look not just unpresidential, but the look that was on Vice President Harris's face. I kept screenshotting her face.
I bet.
The look said pity.
Yeah.
She looked like
I told you they would do this. I told
she kept
you.
looking at him like, are you okay? And she finally said, I think you're having a hard time connecting
There it
with
is.
reality.
There it is.
Donald Trump got destroyed in this debate because he can't control his mind. And you don't want a president of the United States that is not in full control of his mind.
It was by far the best debate performance against Donald Trump ever by anyone. I think.
Including, quick parentheses, It may very well be the best televised debate performance ever.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better one. I thought it was.
Oh no, I had it on mute. What'd you say? Or what the person say?
Want a president of the United States that is not in full control of his mind.
It was by far the best debate performance against Donald Trump ever by anyone, I think.
You know,
Including
quick parentheses. It may very well be the best televised debate performance ever.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better.
What is that?
I thought it was exceptional. I thought it's the best anyone's ever done against him. Both Republicans in Republican primaries and those big group brawls and one-on-one, even though I think both Biden and Hillary had acquitted themselves well against him.
Oh, my God.
The thing that she did, and it almost became like comical at a certain point, was she's doing two things every time. What do I want to communicate? Because we're talking about how you negotiate this, right? How much him, how much you. What do I want to communicate about what I'm doing? And then, in the midst of that, just this little lure for the
Herman
finish.
tank?
And it could be John McCain. You know, if you bring up John McCain, he's going to litigate John McCain. Yes. It could be very fine people at Charlottesville. You know, if you bring up very fine people, he's going to swim upstream to go talk about very fine people. It could be suckers and losers. He's going to go talk about suckers and losers. Every single time, she would communicate, and then she would leave dangling this bait, and he would swim up to the bait. And the bait was always a thing that Donald Trump is obsessed with about himself. Yes. A grievance, a thing in the past, the well-worn things that we've heard him go on and on about. Nancy Pelosi was the reason that January 6th got attacked, yada, yada.
Yes.
And every one of them just served to reaffirm the fact that the guy is old, out of it, and obsessed with his old grievances. And I will just say as a final point, to your point on humility, I have no idea. Like, you could come out of this and the polling's going to be exactly the same. Yeah. Or you could tell me that some group of swing voters are like, I don't know. I don't have the mind of a swing voter, obviously. I don't know. I don't know. I'm humble on that. Yeah. What I saw was someone totally outmatched in every single way.
Can I add? No,
you go.
I think that we have all been
I want to hear Maddo.
tough and critical of the press. ABC did a very fine job.
Yes,
they did
excellent.
reporting on the eating of pets.
Yes, which is important. Like, you got to say it.
I mean, and
This
I
woman
think
is
sometimes
drunk.
people are reluctant to put themselves in a story. David Muir didn't hesitate to say, I went back and watched the tape. You didn't sound sarcastic to me when you said, I lost by a whisker. Kamala Harris got Trump on three sides of whether or not he won in 2020. He said, I won. And then he said, I said sarcastically that I lost by a whisker, and then David Muir ended it by saying, no, that wasn't sarcastic. So what the American people heard was Trump on three sides of the outcome of 2020. And David Muir
is fake news.
and Lindsey Davis played an important role in that.
They were excellent. I think kudos to them because they did just enough fact checking not to be to be a part of the debate, but to make sure that really egregious lies were shut down. The one thing I would add is theatrically, what Vice President Harris did that I thought was very smart was that when she was saying something about Donald Trump, particularly when she was talking about the way foreign governments that she has interacted with think about him, she looked at him.
Yes.
And he would not look at her.
He would not.
He would not look at her. He stayed and he glowered into the camera. And that
stayed focused.
I think, puts her at a stature so far above him. He looked weak and he looked afraid because he wouldn't look her in the eye. And she said,
the dictator's weak and afraid,
are a
right?
disgrace. And I'm not saying I'm saying you're a disgrace. I'm saying that the people that I speak with that are heads of
military leaders who have worked with you, tell me that you
are a disgrace.
And in order to say you, she has to turn to him, and he can't bear it.
He can't bear it. And then he, in his own defense,
look at Rachel Maddow.
He goes
My God.
to Viktor Orban. And you could almost hear the entire audience laughing because you're like,
this is why Trump should have brought up the Gold Star families more because of this happening right here.
One was when he tried to explain.
But don't be
how it was his idea to get out of Afghanistan, but it was a terrible idea.
Don't be demoralized by
this. He says, well,
I'll clap back right now. I'm just letting him talk.
Name of an Arabic name and says, well, that guy loves me. Yeah. Like he didn't have anyone that he could point to that was like a character witness.
He also invented a head of the Taliban named Abdul. Which is not the name of the head of the Taliban, just to be clear. He just like randomly named him. Just one more thing, and then I know we have colleagues, whatever, but just on the abortion answer, which was like, to me was like the worst moment in the first debate because Joe Biden got asked an abortion question and he just did not deliver the answer that, is right there. She destroyed him on the abortion answer. She talked about why we're here. She talked about the consequences in the real world of women bleeding out in a parking lot waiting to get care because they have a miscarriage that they cannot be treated, and 12-year-old survivors of incest. She completely destroyed him on it. She sort of gave him no territory to like wiggle away from it, and also he refused to say he would veto a national ban.
Yes, and
which he could, and J.D. Vance said he could. He could have, and he didn't.
It's now
because
11
it's
o'clock on
the
East
state's
Coast. You are watching
issue.
our coverage of the second presidential debate, the first debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, which concluded just a few minutes ago in Philadelphia. I mean, Chris, to your point about
I want to hear this.
News being made here, Trump refused to say that he would veto a national abortion ban.
Because it's the states.
Trump also repeatedly refused to say that he thinks or thinks that it would be good or wants for Ukraine to win the war against Russia.
Yeah, given
He would not
half a
say it.
dozen opportunities.
Yes, he would not say it. And then he talks about how he's very concerned about the number of troops that Russia has lost after they invaded another sovereign country. I mean, it was stunning. Joy, to your point about the way that Kamala Harris turned it to him directly, I just want to read that part from the transcript. Kamala Harris says to the camera, Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people, so let's be clear about that. And clearly, he's having a very difficult time processing that. But we cannot afford to have a president of the United States who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election. And I'm going to tell you that I have traveled the world as vice president. World leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I mean, he cannot bear the idea of somebody laughing at him. World
He
leaders
hasn't
are
even
laughing
been
at Donald Trump.
in
I have
power
talked
for
with
the past
military
3.5,
leaders,
4 years.
Some of whom work, and then she turns with you, and they say, you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way in a presidential debate over and over again about court cases you've lost because you did, in fact, lose that election, it leads one to believe that perhaps we do not have in the candidate to my right the temperament or the ability to not be confused about that fact.
Here it is.
And that's deeply troubling. And the American people deserve better. That is playing those
Yeah,
two
that's why they
tracks
fed
that
us
you're talking
Biden.
about, Chris. The camera talking to people at home and talking to her opponent in ways that deeply, deeply rattled him. And she's able to do it in the same answer. Joining us now, I'm honored to say, is the Democratic Vice Presidential.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Vice Presidential nominee and Minnesota
It's
Governor
Tampon
Walz.
Tim.
Governor Walz, I really
Oh,
appreciate
God,
you
here
making
we
time
go.
to
Let's
be with us
see.
here tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Rachel. Great night. A great night.
You were at a watch party in Arizona. You think it was a great night. Tell us how you assess your running mate's performance.
Let's see what this
evening.
homo has to say.
Yeah, I'm out here in Mesa, and folks across the country got to see a president for all Americans. You saw Kamala Harris conduct herself with dignity. She laid out a clear vision forward, one that's an opportunity economy we keep talking about, ability to own a home, making sure prescription drugs are not too expensive, and tackling the real problems and doing it all with grace and dignity. And then on the other side, look, I don't know how other to describe it. You saw a nearly 80-year-old angry narcissist continue to veer off into things that in any other setting might actually be funny, but they're dangerous in this setting. They're dangerous because this guy anywhere near the White House is simply
illegal
unacceptable.
immigration and people dying
a lot of Americans
funny.
are going to see this clip. These things are going to go around. They're going to talk to their neighbors, and they're going to see what Vice President Harris is bringing to them. She talks about them. He talks about himself. She talks about real issues. He goes on tangents that are hard to follow. So I have to tell you, I'm excited about this. It's what we all knew. I'm glad more people are engaging, and we've got an opportunity. All of this, doing it with joy. A politics of joy, a politics of possibilities versus this just increasingly
Here comes the Nazi propaganda.
Dark. Look, what I say is, Rachel, this guy's rooting against America. He's rooting for failure. He does not want good news. He does not want good economic news. He does not want to see unemployment, inflation going down. He wants to see the worst because whatever twisted vision he has, he thinks he's the guy to fix it when he's the guy who started the problem. So, she did a
please, there's
great
the
job.
gaslight.
I'm really proud of her.
That's literally Vice President Kamala Harris.
Vice President Harris.
And the border.
One of the things that she was just getting praised for at this table here was that she, right out of the gate, was able to get to a lot of the details of her policy proposals, the kinds of practical proposals that you're talking about, things like child tax credit and a big tax deduction for startup businesses and for first-time homeowners. And she laid out those things, and those things,
the commie policies,
obviously, to
Free money
communicate
for
those things to
everybody.
the American people with such a big audience, tens of millions of people are watching tonight. It wasn't necessarily news, though, because we know that's what she's running on. On the other side, the other candidate, former President Trump, did make a bunch of news tonight. He refused to say whether or not he would sign a national abortion ban. He refused to say that Ukraine should win the war in Russia, and that would be better.
He said he wants to end it.
9 years after you first said you wanted to get rid of Obamacare, do you yet have your own health care plan? And he responded by saying, I have concepts of plans.
He hasn't been president for 4 years.
Among other things, it was new information in terms of Donald Trump's plans. I wonder if that changes anything for you in terms of thinking about how to campaign against him and his running mate.
Americans should know. We know what a non-answer is when he's talking about this. Of course he would not sign a ban against that because he wants it. He's the one who ruined Roe. He brags about it all the time. Of course he's not going to do anything with Ukraine because he wants Putin, his buddy, to be in there, and he wants to undermine our alliances that have kept peace in the world. These non-answers are as clear as anything. He can't answer them. And again, when you ask him for a plan, 9 years on health care, we know what he's going to do. He's going to destroy the ACA, get rid of pre-existing condition protections. He's going to attack Social Security and Medicare. And the one thing I say, Rachel, is he is clear about he will give tax cuts to the wealthy because that's the one thing he actually followed through with. So he has no plan. When I travel, and we all see this, when I was at the D-Day...
he has no plan, but he's going to, he has a plan to give tax breaks to the wealthy. Got it.
Trump coming back, deeply concerned that his inability to do anything other than a transactional shakedown of our historical allies, as we sat on the beaches of Normandy, where Americans died, protecting Europe, but protecting us.
Okay,
That's
stolen valor.
You give in on Ukraine, it empowers China, it empowers Putin, it empowers dictators. But again, one example, he was asked for one world leader who was with him, and it's Orban. My God, that's all you need to know. You've got a leader in Kamala Harris that understands the importance of these alliances. She understands what it truly means to stand up for the Western democracies, and she truly means to talk about others. Donald Trump talked about himself 99% of the time, and if he wasn't talking about that, he was talking about Orban. So it was, couldn't have been clearer. Couldn't have been clearer. And I'd just like to say, if I can make my plug, she did her job. Americans need to do theirs. Get engaged. Get the facts. Go to KamalaHarris.com. Go down and do some door knocking. Talk to your neighbor. Talk to your relatives. It was clear tonight that there is only one person on that stage that should be president of the United States, and that was Kamala Harris.
Right.
One of the more interesting and I think unpredictable moments in the debate, Governor Walz, was a back and forth with the former president about whether or not he believes that he won or lost the last election. He has made some contrary remarks about this in recent days. He tried to claim, I think not very credibly, and was called out by one of the moderators, tried to claim that those recent comments were meant sarcastically, as if he had been joking. It really didn't seem at the moment like he was. The reason this isn't just about
so you want him to admit
it's not just
that
about 4 years
did,
ago, it's about
like
now,
it doesn't make any sense.
Is because presumably his attitude toward American elections carries through from the last one to this next one. And I have to ask if you and your campaign,
like you guys denied
and Vice President
2016,
Harris are fully expecting that even if you wipe the floor with him, even if you win by a lot in November, that he is going to enlist the entire Republican Party, both nationally and in every state that he can, in trying to claim falsely that he won.
You guys are already
That's
claiming
who this guy
Russia's
is. And let's be very
interfering with
clear, this is
Iran
a
and
threat to
China.
the democracy. It is the most treasonous thing you can do to undermine what was fair and free election. He's never had anybody support anything other than a pillow guy support his insane rhetoric around this. But look, this is dangerous. 140 police officers were hurt and some were killed. This has caused issues across this country. The campaign, we're ready for this. We know it's going to be a tough race. We know that he's not going to probably concede. That's why I say once again to Americans, get out there, get engaged, make sure that we're doing everything necessary. And I'm going to give a huge thank you to those election workers, folks like my mom who's been a poll watcher for years, folks that are on the Republican, Democrats, Independents.
Oh, really? There's no bias
do the hard
there.
work of democracy for no money. They're being put at risk by the recklessness of Donald Trump because he can't at nearly 80 years old do something that my fourth graders, when I taught them, did. When you lose a game, you go shake hands and you congratulate the other person and you move on.
My fourth graders?
This guy cares nothing about the democracy. He cares nothing about the American people. He cares about himself and himself only. So again, I appreciate the moderators calling him out on this, re-questioning him on it, making it clear that he's not lost. But look, this guy is a threat. This is going to be a close election. We know it comes down to the battleground states. So for all the listeners out there, we need you. We need you to get engaged. We need you to send a message to this. And I just came a few minutes ago from talking with Mesa Mayor Giles, a Republican, who says, I'm a strong Republican. I don't agree with all of your positions, but you are standing in the breach of democracy. Donald Trump is a threat to that, and he proudly stood there with he and his family. That's the type of things we need Americans to do across this country. Kamala Harris is going to be that president for all of us. You don't have to agree with every policy, but it's very clear. She trusts this democracy. She puts the Constitution above everything else. He doesn't.
Right after stealing all the votes from Biden.
Someone who's on the stage, because Mike Pence sure isn't, because he was willing to put the Constitution above Donald Trump. So we get to continue this conversation over the next 56 days, but it's absolutely critical people know what the threat is.
Governor Walz, I want to ask you about your prep for that debate with J.D. Vance coming up. But while we have been talking, somebody's just handed me something, and I'm going to do sort of a not very TV thing, and I'm going to read it to you in totality. I'm going to read you the whole thing because this was, I don't think you know about this, but this was just posted online by a woman you might have heard of whose name is Taylor Swift. And she has posted this online along with a photo of her cat. And I'm going to read to you what she just posted. Quote, like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you the most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about their proposed policies and plans for this country. Recently, I was made aware that AI of me, quote me, falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to his site. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for this election as a voter. The simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. Then she says, quote, I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election.
Oh, here comes the homo hands.
I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we're led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ+ rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body.
Taylor Swift, the Swifties.
I've done my research.
The Swifties.
And I've made my choice.
For Kamala Harris, not a surprise. I told you guys this was coming.
And the choice is yours to make. I also want to say, especially to first-time voters, remember that in order to vote, you have to be registered. I also find it's much easier to vote early. I will link where to register and find early voting dates and info in my story. With love and hope, Taylor Swift, signed Childless Cat Lady. I have to
that
get
doesn't
your
hit
response
anymore.
to that, Mr. Governor.
All those things, I am incredibly grateful, first of all, to Taylor Swift. I say that also as a cat owner, a fellow cat owner.
Gay. Look at this guy's gay. Look at him.
There. That was eloquent, and it was clear. And that's the type of courage we need in America to stand up. We've seen it out of those Republicans who were at the DNC. We've seen it out of women who would like to have their own personal lives kept personal, but are forced to go out there because they nearly died because they can't get abortion services in a pregnancy. And now you have somebody like Taylor Swift coming out, making that very clear. This would be the opportunity, Swifties. KamalaHarris.com. Get on over there. Give us a hand. Get things going.
Governor Walz, you do have your own debate with J.D. Vance that is coming up and coming up quickly. Have you
the
started prepping for
Swifties
that
will
yet, or do you have
mobilize
thoughts
the
already
baby
about how you're
killer
gonna approach that?
Swifties.
Yeah, I need to. Look, he's Yale law guy. I'm public school teacher, so we know where he's at on that. Sure, I think it's a good opportunity to contrast where we're at. You'll hear me talk like I have about things that impact Americans, making sure they have the opportunity to thrive, making sure that we're being factual in how we talk about that. And so I'm looking forward to it. I'll work hard. That's what I do. I fully expect that Senator Vance, as a United States Senator, a Yale law guy, he'll come well prepared. But I think what you saw tonight is the American public is on the side of truth. The American public is on the side of things that impact their lives in a positive way. And I'll continue to put that out and continue to lift up this incredible vision that Kamala Harris brought out tonight.
What is
This
it? What's the
incredible,
vision? Joy?
Just change in our politics, to be joyful, hopeful, and look, she did what it is. We can be joyful, but don't mistake her kindness for weakness, because she called that out, and I said, I did enough lunchroom supervision. You put bullies in their place, and she put a bully in his place all night, and right before our
so
eyes,
cringe, this
Donald
teacher
Trump got
thing.
angrier and smaller and more irrelevant. We need to keep pressure on for 56 days and win this thing.
We don't know yet what the voters will think of tonight's debate. We don't even know yet how many people have tuned in and watched it. The immediate reaction from the political observers who I serve with here at MSNBC was that your running mate, Vice President Harris, essentially wiped the floor with Donald Trump tonight. Joy Reid said the word that she chose was destroyed. Chris Hayes and Lawrence O'Donnell had an interesting colloquy between them as to whether or not this might have been the best televised presidential debate performance ever, not just against Donald Trump, but in any presidential debate. And so, again, we don't know how viewers at large will view it, but I think at least here, our tiny, weird focus group thinks that she did very well. Given that, it doesn't necessarily lend itself toward an obvious next choice. You could just leave it at this and decide that that was a pretty good way to leave yourself in the minds of voters before they head into the voting booth. Or you could agree to another debate. I mean, if Donald Trump agreed to do it, do you think that Vice President Harris should debate him again after tonight?
Look, I don't want to speak for her, but I would be there encouraging her to do it every day if she could.
Right. Okay. Like she talks to the media.
It's the same old tired agenda that he brings every time, and she's bringing this new hopefulness, this ability to be able to articulate what Americans are asking for. The agenda that he brings up, no one's asking for that.
Yes, we are.
In his mind, 99% of people, or whatever that is, it's him and whoever else is in his head. Those are the people that are thinking that way. So, look, she'll make that decision. We agreed to these two debates. We will carry them out. We'll see where it goes. But again, I would just encourage Americans, don't believe this thing's over by any stretch. This thing is going to be a margin of error race. We know that it'll be close. We know that there will be attempts to try and discourage people from voting. But Taylor Swift's right. Get registered early, get engaged, and, voting's at the entry point. Maybe make a few phone calls, do a door knock. If you can, contribute. Those are the things that help us take this message to every corner of the country.
Democratic vice presidential nominee, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
Tampon Tim. All right, I like to listen to the fake news to see where they're going. Now we know where they're going. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to listen to, but now we know. I called it. Didn't I call it? I told you guys. Trump is old. Trump is senile. She felt sorry for him. But I did not foresee that MSNBC would declare this was the greatest presidential debate performance ever. Yeah, way over the top. Way over the top. Nobody feels that way. She mopped the floor with Trump. She wouldn't answer any questions. She would deflect, or the debate moderators would deflect for her whenever Trump was getting too close to the sun, holding her accountable and responsible. She flip-flopped on the fracking. She would not give a solid answer for how they pulled out of Afghanistan. We know that the plan was to pull out of Afghanistan. Nobody's disputing that. It's how it was done under your failed leadership. And you call it successful while literally flipping the middle finger to all the Gold Star families. And they say Trump is senile and that Trump has lost his mind because he kept reiterating the illegal immigration. You want to know why? It's because that is the top issue in this election. And the fact that they are gaslighting and deflecting to shift responsibility from her. This little border bill she keeps pointing to was like this year, tail end towards last year. This open border literal massacre started in 2021 under her watch. And this economic disaster is all her responsibility. And they're going to listen, we knew going into this is how it would be, right? We knew that they would protect her. She was not doing well tonight. She was not doing well tonight. stumbled over her words. Trump backhanded her multiple times, as he should have. And notice how they're not even talking about that. They're not even going the route of he treated a woman so disgracefully. He treated a woman as a misogynist would. Because that was hard when Trump did that. He took her line, flipped it on her own head. I'm speaking. Sound familiar? They want you to forget about all of that. But here's the big thing. All of this glazing for Kamala Harris and all of this propaganda and crap, the greatest debate performance ever in American debate history. Americans aren't buying it. I'm going to tell you right now, she's not going to get a super boost in the polls. She's not going to get a super boost in the betting markets. Because that is not what happened tonight. Kamala Harris was nagging and whining and going over and over and over and over again. Trump made his position clear. He's got the Reagan position. He believes in the exceptions when it comes to abortion. This is his position. And she comes out and says that he's not in favor for that. You see, just on its face, when you look at that, people hear that and it doesn't make any sense. He literally just clarified his position, and you're saying that's not his position. That's not making sense to people. And she's flip-flopping and she's lying. And they're trying to glaze her as if she just laid down her economic policy, which is what? They even admit that they're not popular. Her Soviet style price-controlled policies. Yeah, she kept talking about that. She kept saying it over and over again like a retard. It's like, okay, yeah, we get it. We don't want that. Free money for everybody. $25K for first-generation home buyers. Wow, who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for all of this free money, you and me? And she kept advocating for war. She kept advocating for it. We need to continue. We need to continue this. In Europe, Vladimir Putin's a threat. First, she says that Trump is a violent threat to democracy and a dictator. But then she tries to say, well, he's confused, he's senile and old, and he doesn't even know what he's talking about. Which one is it? Because normie voters that are sitting here watching and listening to that, that's what they're concluding. It doesn't make any sense. And so Trump killed it. Trump was not getting baited. Trump was debating 3 people tonight. That's what was happening. And of course, Trump has to clarify the record. And notice how they don't refute that Nancy Pelosi is responsible for J6. They just try to mock it and scoff at it as they say it. But that's the truth. Trump was debating. Notice how they're trying to mock Trump for debating. See what I'm saying? We knew it would be this way going into it. But Kamala Harris did not knock. This is how you know it wasn't where it needed to be. And this is where the fake news media propagandists step in. And it does. See, it's the same thing with Hillary Clinton. It's the same exact thing with Hillary Clinton. This astroturfed continual prop up and trying to make it seem like she just hit a grand slam and ended Trump's career when actually she didn't even say anything. She was talking in circles. She was whining and nagging over and over and over again, would not answer questions directly when Trump would. Trump was asked the hard questions and he rebutted them and answered them directly. Yet they want to say he's senile and was getting baited. Trump has no choice. When it's a 3-on-1, you have no choice. You got to answer the question and you got to clarify the lie. That's why they went back to the Charlottesville, went back to the same crap, J6, went back to the same thing over and over again, while at the same time, Kamala Harris is saying, we need a new way forward. Why are we going to keep doing this over and over again? And there she is doing it over and over and over again. Making everything about race. He's a racist. Race. He's a racist. A threat to democracy. But we know why. Because that's all they have. That's all they got left. And I'm glad Trump brought up the assassination attempt against his life because I'm telling you, man, That needed, and notice how that wasn't even talked about. The moderators didn't bring that up at all. You want to know why? Because that is the biggest, in my opinion, that is the biggest campaign golden ticket he could have ever received. They know it. I know it. You know it. And that's why they tried so quickly to get him off that subject. Did you guys see that? Every time Trump was getting too close to the sun, they would deflect and they would take it away from Kamala Harris. She doesn't make any sense. All she wants to talk about, and honestly, what people don't want to hear, she tries to talk about throughout the debate that we're tired of having these same old divisive attacks and slanders and name calling as she continues to go through that and call him old, confused, and senile, right? When he's on point, he's articulating everything. Polar opposite from Joe Biden still, but I told you they were going to do that. I told you they were going to take that, and Trump may have walked into that one, and he maybe should have clarified that a little better when he said she's Biden, because they're going to take that and say he's old and senile and losing his mind. But it doesn't matter. They're going to take anything. And this is where the fake news has to step in. And this is where the fake news has to step in and propagate and inflate who she really is and what she did. And this is what they did with Hillary. And they may get some kind of narrative. And I'm telling you, this narrative, you'll probably hear it. All the glazing for Kamala will happen tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, a little bit throughout the week, and it'll die out by Monday. And they'll be in the same boat. You want to know why? Because Americans are tired of hearing that. We're tired of hearing and notice how Trump didn't drop the Make America Great Again. He didn't do that. He didn't drop that, didn't drop the campaign slogans, none of the fact that Kamala tries to sit there, and that may have been an attempt to bait, right? To bait Trump, to strike his ego and get him to, well, let's just talk about the crowd size. He'll definitely be baited into that one. But I think Trump responded to that pretty well. Right? And that's the gaslighting that voters are noticing. She keeps saying that we need to come together and all this divisive politics needs to stop, while she continues to admit, and even MSNBC admits, that she's baiting and creating division as the debate's going. Instead of actually debating on policy, she can't. They don't have policy. All she has are her Soviet-style retarded economic proposals that everybody hated. Price controls. Thousands of dollars of free money. And I will tell you this, Trump's final, notice how they didn't want to talk about that. Trump's final word was solid. Why hasn't she done this? Why she keeps complaining about all of the problems she created? Why doesn't she go down to DC and get the job done? She could do it now. But I'm here running against her because she won't go do it. Phenomenal. Because I will tell you, normies and independents and people out there that are just paying attention, that resonates with them. Because you are already the vice president. You've been vice president for the past 3.5 years. Trump's right. Go to DC. Leave the debate. Fix the country. Why are you sitting here complaining about something and a problem that you created? So Trump killed it on that final word to the nation. And honestly, guys, this might be the last time we see Donald J. Trump in a debate. So I don't think she'll do it again. And politically, if I'm Trump, I would call on 2 more debates. Keep pressing her. Because here's what's going to happen. Now I'm going to put my political hat on. If I'm the Trump campaign, I'm seeing where the mainstream media is taking this. And they're calling it the greatest debate performance in history, in American history. This is what the fake news does. Okay, she mopped Trump up, right? They're saying she mopped Trump with the floor, right? They're saying it was the greatest debate performance ever. Okay, what the campaign needs to do, challenge her to 2 more debates. 1 in September and 1 more in October. Do it now. Start calling on her to do it. And if she is so great, then she should be able to do it again. Why not? And then they'll say, well, she already took care of Trump. Okay, then do it again. Big girl, tough girl, boss girl, then do it again. wouldn't it only benefit you? And it'll backfire on her because the narrative won't stick. It won't stick. Well, if you did such a good job, why don't you just do it again? Because we want to hear a little more from you as a candidate. And why don't you step into unfamiliar territory outside of ABC or CNN? Fox News is mainstream, but they're not ABC. Why don't you, we went to your home territory, why don't you be the away team now on this next debate? She won't do it because she can't. And so this is how you politically have to put her in positions to neutralize the narrative they're trying to capture. Because if she is so powerful and she's so dominating and just destroyed Trump, then she should be able to do it again. Do it again. Let's see it again. But she can't. It has to be in a controlled environment like that. To the point where they are just running cover for her. They fact-checked Trump more than... Did they even do it once to her? All they did was give an appearance of a hardball question. Well, you said you banned fracking. Where are you at now? You say your values don't change. And she just flip-flops again. Pennsylvania's not buying that. I'll tell you that right now. They're not buying that at all. Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But yes, Trump destroyed her many times tonight. Like 3 viral moments, backhanded her, used her own little I'm speaking. Trump flipped that, dude. That was phenomenal. Flipped that on her. It's super viral. I posted it immediately on X, and it's going viral. You need to go follow me on X, x.com/DrewHLive. x.com/DrewHLive. And that's what I'm saying. If she did so well, if she destroyed Trump, then do it again, Kamala. So politically, this is where you got to push her, right? Because the mainstream narrative is running with this fake news narrative because they have to. It's all they have. And again, they're not learning from their mistakes from Hillary. They're gassing her up. They're glazing her. They're propping her up for a serious failure to come if they don't rig this thing in November. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. I get this retard out of the chat. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get him the hell out of here. And so, yes, W for Trump tonight. And, of course, we know the fake news media was going to side with Kamala. They have to. They have to, right? But I would like to see the campaign push her to do it again. That's what I would like to see. Are they already doing it? Let's see. Let's see the news, because I'm seeing some news. Let's see. Well, if it does, then Trump needs to do it again. Let's see. Let's see. And yeah, the Taylor Swift endorsement is huge. That's huge for Kamala Harris, but we all saw that coming, right? We all saw that coming. So first, let's start with this statement from the campaign. Let me actually fix this real quick. Take a look at some of the news going on right now. Just giving you guys my thoughts. That's good right there. Okay. Cool. Let's try that. Yeah, let me fix that real quick. Yes. We're going to do some call-ins in a little bit. So here's a statement from the Trump campaign. Trump campaign statement on President Trump's debate victory. President Trump delivered a masterful debate performance tonight, prosecuting Kamala Harris' abysmal record, a failure that has hurt Americans for the last 4 years. We saw President Trump lay out his bold vision of America and how he would continue to build upon the successes of the first term by supercharging the economy, securing the border, and stopping crime from ravaging communities across the country. Conversely, Kamala's vision of America was a dark reminder of the oppressive, big government policies of Joe Biden that she wants to continue. High inflation, a terrible border, and allows criminals and terrorists to flood across, and being soft on crime. This is what Kamala represents. The choice could not be more clear. President Trump was the clear winner tonight, and he will win for America when he returns to the White House. Those are his campaign operatives. And let's see if we have anything from the Kamala HQ. If we got anything on that front. Let's see. And here they are. So they're getting ahead of it. They're getting ahead of it. Here it is politically. So they got ahead of it. And the campaign is calling Vice President Harris is ready for a second debate. Is Donald Trump. So they're trying to, yeah, it's crazy how my political mind thinks. So they got ahead of it. So before Trump can do it, they did it. And this will just set up Kamala Harris up again. They will see in the coming days that this debate is not going to go well for her. And the reason why I would say they're probably doing this is because they have nothing else. They have nothing else, and they need some kind of momentum. And, of course, Trump is going to do it, right? Trump is not going to back down. But what Trump should do and the campaign should do right now is set the terms. Set the terms. Tell her to do it. Let's do it on Fox News. We did it on your turf. Let's do it on our turf. And then there we go. I think the campaign should immediately come out, and because the Harris campaign got ahead of it. I told you guys this was, yeah, that's the next move. And there it is. They're already doing it. So they got ahead of the Trump campaign. And of course, we know Trump is going to accept the invitation to debate again. We know that for sure. We know that for sure. And people are claiming she's wearing an earpiece. I don't know. You could maybe. This is going around on X right now. So there's the earring that she was wearing. I mean, honestly, that would have to be a very loud earpiece if it's on your earring. But apparently this is what's being shared. Nova H1 audio earrings. Earphones embedded in earrings. Maybe. I don't know. It looks similar. It's possible. I would have to take a look at this and see what this is really, because that would have to be pretty damn loud if that's not actually in your ear. But we'll take a look at it. But anyways, I mean, she obviously, the whole thing was going to be rigged for her. We knew that this thing would be rigged in her favor. But even though it's being rigged, it's not. Trump's not losing anything. That's what needs to be said here, is that Trump is not losing anything. RFK Jr. has come out and made some statements and has reacted to the debate. Let's see what he has to say.
Fortunately, we had moderators who were clearly biased, who were constantly fact-checking Donald Trump. None of these kind of whoppers that the vice president was saying, and none of her failure to really explain that, answer that first question, that very, very critical first question. They simply sat there on the sidelines and allowed that to pass. Fortunately, we had moderators who were clearly biased, who were constantly fact-checking Donald Trump. None of these kind of whoppers that the vice president was saying, and none of her failure to really explain that, answer that first question, that very, very critical first question. They simply sat there on the sidelines and allowed that to pass.
Of course, because it was a 3-on-1. Of course, because it was a 3-on-1. Is Trump on Fox right now? Let me see. Hold on. Spin room. Fox. Oh, he is.
93% negative.
I exaggerate.
You got an extra percent non-negative. As you were with her tonight, to think that we come out of this debate and we have no answer to her co-sponsoring the Green New Deal, $93 trillion, I say the end of capitalism. To come out of this, government-run health care and no answer to eliminating private health insurance.
Well, we brought them all up. Every one of the things that we brought it all up. And I also ended with, why hasn't she done it before? Why didn't she fix, you know, she's there complaining. Why didn't she fix all these things
Were you really
that she's
willing to
complaining
leave the stage and go home if she was going to go fix it in Washington?
No, you know what? I would have left. I would have said, go home and fix it. I'll leave with you, okay? But she doesn't, she's not going to fix it. So she's complaining about all the stuff that's wrong with the country, and they've been there for 3.5 years. And I put that, I wanted to save that for my last little summation. And I actually mentioned in there, too. I just thought it was a great debate. I think we showed the weakness. But the sad part is they're destroying our country. You know, when you get right down to it. Debate, good debate. I enjoyed it. But it's a very sad thing because our country is in decline. We are really being laughed at all over the world. And that's tough to take.
Do you think it's strange that somebody could support something as radical as sex change operations paid for by taxpayers for convicts and illegal immigrants, and for illegal immigrants, free housing, health care, education, and not get asked a question about it?
But I brought it up.
You did bring it up.
Of course, they weren't so happy when I brought it up, but I brought it up. I brought up the fact that they're doing sex change operations on illegal immigrants, and those are expensive operations, and they shouldn't be done for a lot of reasons.
There were a lot of things said that weren't true about you tonight, that you would support a national abortion ban.
Yeah.
You've never said that.
I never said
that you support Project 25.
Correct.
You never read it? I don't even know what it is either.
I don't want to read it.
Okay, number two, that she said in 2000, I took back my position on banning fracking.
Yep.
No, CNN fact-checked that and said no. The mandatory gun buyback at the end of the debate, she lied about that too.
That's right. That's right.
And you
She
did
wants
call
to
her out for a lot of
confiscate.
that.
I called her out on everything that you said.
Yep.
I think I got everything out. Now, with all of that being said, I was amazed because I really thought they'd be fair. I have to say, CNN a few weeks ago was sort of fair against Biden.
That was a setup debate
but this
for
one was
take out
stacked.
Biden.
I figured it would be after watching 100% positive coverage of her, and she's done a terrible job as vice president. And look, she's the worst vice president we've ever had. She was the border czar, the worst border ever in the history of the world, not just in our country. And he's the worst president we've ever had.
So she's
Sean, they're destroying our country.
I'm very aware. And if we look at her tax plan, which is, okay, price gauging or gouging, and the largest tax increase not only in American history, but world history, her campaign is saying tonight, Washington Post is reporting that she wants a second debate. What's your answer?
Because she lost. She wants it because she lost.
Do you have an answer?
Well, I don't know. I have to think about it, but if you won the debate, I sort of think maybe I shouldn't do it. Why should I do another debate? She immediately said, we want another debate. That's, you know what happens when you're a prize fighter and you lose? You immediately want a new fight.
You want a rematch.
Yep.
You want a rematch. The guy that won is sort of happy and
Told you they
thinking about
need it.
Would you
They
be
need it.
inclined to say yes, or you
Maybe
don't
if
know?
it was on a fair network, I would do that. But
I think let Hannity moderate it.
yeah, no, I think
like
that
I
would be
did
fair.
Newsom and Ron DeSantis.
I think it would be fair. You would be fair,
I
actually.
would be
you
fair.
want to know the truth.
I'd let you both talk. I'd let you go at each other.
I thought they would be fair. They weren't, but I felt very comfortable.
Yeah.
We have the best policy. She has no policy.
You know, one thing that interested me, because I've known you for a long time, and one of the things that I was watching in you tonight is that you were all business. You know, a lot of times when you're at your rallies or we do a town hall.
Sean, they're destroying our country.
Is that what it was? Is it the seriousness of the moment?
There's nothing to smile about. You know, I'm a good smiler, but there's nothing to smile about. They're destroying. We have 21 million people that have been released into our country, and many of them are criminals and terrorists and people
Laken
from
Riley,
mental institutions.
Rachel Morin,
Yeah.
Jocelyn Nungary.
All dead.
I list all these names.
Yeah, I know.
on the show of people murdered, people raped, people victims of violent crime, names a lot of people never heard of. You've called Laken Riley's family.
I did. I was with them.
Who else do you've met other families? You met the families of
I met them all.
Afghanistan.
Nungary. I met.
You met Nungary's family.
Yeah, I met 5 or 6 of them. Not even talking about the 13 soldiers that were killed in Afghanistan, the families of the 13 soldiers, which Biden won't even talk to, and he's the one that caused their death. Just as if he had a pistol in his hand, he and her caused their death. Just as if literally they had a gun in their hand.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. When you're in a situation like that, what is going through your mind? What goes on behind the scenes? How do you prepare for your debates?
Well, I think you sort of, I always say I've been preparing all my life for these debates. You know, you can't go in like she did. She goes into a room and she memorized lines, more or less. I thought I got one cute one. I'm talking where I said, I'm talking, when she started interrupting me.
Well, she said that to Mike Pence.
I wanted to get
speaking.
even for that. You know, that was not very nice what she did. But no, I thought it was, we're getting great reviews.
It's interesting that one line that really stuck out, that did make me laugh out loud, is when you said you're going to send her a MAGA hat. There are a lot of positions now, all of a sudden, she's come over to your side. She's been against the border wall. She's been against...
There's only one problem.
Yeah.
If she ever won, immediately from the day after that election, everything would go back to confiscate your guns and forget about oil and everything else. You know, they were cutting back on oil way back. They got rid of Anwar, the biggest oil site perhaps in the world, in Alaska. They did things that are so bad and so destructive, but energy prices started doubling up, and she immediately went back to the Trump plan. But I would have been now 4 times higher than they are right now, because that was 3.5 years ago.
Right.
When she cut it, she cut everything out. She went to wind and went to all this other stuff that doesn't work from an economic standpoint and even a visual standpoint. I don't get the wind. You take these gorgeous plains and deserts and all this stuff, they put these windmills up, they go up like a 30-story building in some cases. They destroy everything, they cut out all, and the environmentalists say, aren't they wonderful? But it's the most expensive form of energy, and it's never going to do for our country.
So if we look at the issues on the economy, on immigration, on law and order, on energy, and America's role in the world, is there anything you can point to that you would say they have been successful on?
No. They have been unsuccessful at everything. And even the economy, I said, as part of the economy, you've let 21 million people, more than that, I think, with all the gotaways. That's killing our economy.
Terrorists, and we do have the murders and the rapes and the violent crimes.
Oh, and you haven't seen anything yet. Wait till you see it in the months to come.
You know what scares me, and I've said this on the air, is by having open borders, unvetted illegal immigrants, that I don't think it's a matter of if, I think it's a matter of when that this country is going to be attacked.
If you look at Springfield, Ohio, look at what's happening there. You look at Aurora in Colorado, these beautiful little towns and little cities, small cities, they're being taken over by illegal migrants. I mean, they're people that poured in, and they have weapons like our military doesn't have. You know, they have AK-47s, they have weapons like our military doesn't have. And, you know, some sheriff in one of these towns where he's got 2 deputies, and they're not into this. There's no way they can protect the people from this. But look at what's going on in Springfield today. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
We really appreciate it. I know your people are calling for you to roll. What made you come to the spin room?
I just felt I wanted to. I was very happy with the result. It's a very unfair situation. They've weaponized our government politically, so, I mean, that's unfair. And I just felt we had a great night. And I'd come over here. I actually gave a little bit of a news conference. We were swarmed.
Oh, by the way, I could hear it. You were interrupting my show, by the way, just for the record.
I had to come over and do yours. I would hate like heck to leave here and I didn't do
No, I would be mad.
I
would take that as a personal offense.
I would have been
doubt.
in big trouble.
All right, so no answer on their offer for a second debate.
Again, the reason you do a second debate is if you lose, and they lost. And we looked at one poll, it was 92-7.
Yeah.
We looked at another one, 86-3.
Wow.
I mean, we have all of these results coming in, but I'll think about it, you know, it's very quick.
Mr. President, thank you for taking time. We really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. By the way, tomorrow, you're going to be on Fox and Friends tomorrow.
I am indeed, 6:45 in the morning.
Oh, boy.
And then I'm going down to...
You're going to get a lot of sleep tonight.
Then I'm going down to the World Trade Center to honor the people that died. September 11th.
You know what scares me? We have known terrorists in the country.
Yeah.
And we don't know where they are. And we don't even know about the gotaways.
More than we've ever had before, times 10.
Scary.
Yep, scary.
All right. President Trump will be on Fox and Friends tomorrow morning. We'll have with more reaction to the debate from tonight. Be sure to tune in. As we continue, we're live. We're in Philadelphia. We're in the spin room. 1 week from today, early voting in Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth, as we continue.
All right, there's President Trump already doing interviews off of the debate stage, Kamala Harris not. And so, again, as I said, the Harris campaign needs this. They need it. They need the momentum. They need to keep this going because they don't have anything else. And as I said, and Trump is correct, they need another debate because obviously this did not go well. And if she did, that's why I'm saying you got to put her in a position to where it doesn't make any sense that she keeps saying that this was the greatest debate of all time, right? Because if it was, she should be willing to debate again. However, that's also showing very clearly that she needs it. That's the point here. She needs it. They need it. Because they need some kind of momentum. They need some kind of fake news mainstream media. They need something. They need something to keep the momentum going. And this puts Trump in a position very clearly. Oops. This puts Trump in a position very, very clearly with the upper hand. Because clearly this was not Trump's debate to lose. Yes, Trump is going to get another bump, but he's been dominating, right? But at the same time, this is Kamala Harris's debate to win. Needs the momentum, needs the donation influx, needs the mainstream media narrative, needs all of this. And that's why they probably got ahead of Trump even considering calling for a second debate. Because as I said, they needed it. They needed it. They needed it. They needed it. Because obviously, whether this went well for her or not, the mainstream media is going to glaze it, right? It doesn't matter the outcome. They're always going to glaze it. And in terms of propaganda, that's exactly what these people need. That's exactly what these people need. But no, she did not hold her own. You're a retard, dude. What the hell were you watching? That was horrible. Held her own. She literally had two other debaters in the room held her own. Yeah, it's pretty convenient when you're a full-blown mental retard and a short bus candidate. It's pretty convenient when the two debate moderators are defending you the entire time and debating your opponent at the same time. Held her own. What a retard. Get the hell out of the chat. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing? She held her own. She was being held up by the two debate moderators. What the hell are you talking about? Get the hell out of here with that. Unreal. Unreal. Yeah, there are viral clips of Trump. Here it is again.
Why won't you commit to a second debate with Kamala Harris
She wants a second debate because she lost tonight very badly. So they immediately called for a second debate because they lost. So we'll, think about that. But she immediately called for a second. Look, we're looking at polls. We're looking at polls. The worst poll that we've had was 71 that I see, 71% to like 24 or 25%.
You commit to a...
There we go. There we go. Trump the man. Yeah, they need it. They want it. They want it. And there it is. So W for Trump, obviously. And as I said, they need it. They need the momentum. They need it all back. They need it all back. Even one of Trump's biggest critics lately, Nick Fuentes, seems pleased with Trump's performance tonight. Trump is effing back. We got that 2016 Trump back. We got that 2016 Trump back because it was necessary. I told you guys that needed to happen. It needed to happen because there's been a step up here. And that's what we saw tonight. I saw 2016 Trump tonight. That's what I saw. On point, slamming her hard, dude. And now even combating the fake news media at the same time and flipping the script of their move for calling for a second debate, which could have happened from either end. He could have pressured her from either end. He could have called for it, destroying her narrative that, oh, she killed it so much. Okay, then do it again. But also, the Harris campaign knows they need it. The Harris campaign knows they need it. That is for sure. So this was definitely a Trump W. Let's see if we have any more reactions. My feed is I'm just refreshing. Take a look at these memes that are coming out. I'm telling you, this is exactly what it was. 1v3. 1v3. We knew it would be this way going into it, right? We knew it would be this way. Let's see if any voters are speaking. Let's see. Take a look. Trump War Room. Is this 39 days? All right, let's see. Let's see. Some voters are speaking on CNN. Let's see.
I think it's important to remember that we are voting for the leader of our country and not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they would do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic.
I told you. This what happened tonight. Remove yourself from politics, commentators, all of this. Voters are not going to buy it.
And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
Were you leaning towards the former president coming in tonight?
Probably.
And did you vote for him in 2016 or 2020?
I did.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, oh, well, you have a bias. Of course. See how CNN does that? They don't give a damn. When it doesn't fit the narrative, they have to find a way to discredit it, right? But that's not supposed to be on CNN. I told you guys. Let's see. They had JD Vance on CNN. Let's take a look.
I think he did. I mean, he did it in the closing statement. He also really hammered her on her inconsistencies, right? This is a person who said she wanted to ban fracking. Now she says she doesn't. She wanted to defund.
I wonder what the CNN poll will be.
The police. Now she said she doesn't. She wanted a secure border. I thought he really did, actually. On 3 issues in particular, I think he was very focused on hammering Kamala Harris's inconsistencies with her record, what she says now versus what she said even a few weeks ago in some cases. It was on the border, it's on fracking, and it's on defund the police. That was clearly what he's most focused on. I think it's not surprising because those are 3 of the issues that the American people care the most about. I mean, look, this is a person who was to the far left of her own party and now is trying to pretend that she's effectively Donald Trump. My favorite line of the night is when he said she's going to don a MAGA cap and pretend that she agrees with me on everything. I think the American people are too smart to be fooled by Kamala Chameleon acting to be somebody that she's clearly not.
Yeah, people aren't buying it. I'm telling you, that's what it was going to come down to. They're not buying it. They are not buying it. All this flip-flopping and lying. Like, she's still not talking to the media. Still not talking to the media, dude. Of course not. It is election season, baby. It is election season. Let's see. I don't know if CNN dropped that poll. Obviously, it'll probably be for Kamala Harris, but it'll be wild if it's not. They're already having voters saying, yeah, my life was better under Trump. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. But that was bad. That was bad. Let me see. Where is CNN live right now? Let me see. Maybe they... I really want to see what this poll is. I'm interested. We'll monitor that. We'll monitor that. All right, and by the way, if you're just tuning in, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit that bell notification, copy the link, share this everywhere. We're trying to get to 80K subs, so subscribe right now. And we are doing we do it every year, our 9/11 deep dive stream tomorrow night. We go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be live tomorrow night. It's probably going to be like a 6-7 hour stream. But we do a full 9/11 deep dive. Not the official NIST government narrative, the deep dive. Tower 7, Twin Towers, Pentagon, United 93, the truth and the inconsistencies that the mainstream media does not want to talk about, including the Mossad and their involvement, the dancing Israelis, the entire thing. We're going to go over all of it tomorrow night. You don't want to miss it. So subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. And I encourage you guys to invite maybe your family members, maybe every 9/11, you and your family watch 9/11 stuff. I encourage you guys to tune in tomorrow night. Bring your family, because when we do our deep dive, people get red-pilled, dude. People get seriously red-pilled. So be ready for that tomorrow night. I'm excited for that. I love our 9/11. Oh, and that was just ridiculous. When Kamala Harris said that tonight, Donald Trump gave us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. Just literally skips over 9/11 on the eve of the 9/11 anniversary. Doesn't sit well with voters, man. It's distasteful. While she's nagging, whining, and being condescending. But that was legit. Trump W. Trump W. All righty. Yeah, Kamala, that was not... Kamala got hit, dude. She got hit hard. Telling you. Trump did come out on top. The whole thing was rigged against her. Let's see what Tulsi Gabbard had to say, because she was assisting in the debate prep for Trump.
I think he clarified and told the truth about a lot of things that Kamala Harris accused him of that were outright lies. She was trying to tell the American people that he supports a federal abortion ban. He does not. She tried to tell the American people that he's trying to ban IVF, something that's personal to me because it's something that my husband and I, for years, tried to start our own family through the use of IVF. It didn't work out for us, works out for a lot of families. President Trump was quick on the draw when that Alabama court ruled, and he immediately said, no, we have to protect IVF, and the Alabama state legislature took action. She continued to say things. She's trying to say he's trying to ban birth control. That is also 100% false. So President Trump, I think, did a good job in clarifying the truth after Kamala Harris continued to lob lie after lie at him, saying things that he stood for that frankly just are not true.
Yep, and he backhanded her. Quiet, I'm talking. Sound familiar? Oh, man, dude. Eviscerated, dude. Eviscerated, man. That was so hard. Man, I'm so glad we got to enjoy all that together tonight, guys. He cooked her, dude. Cooked her. I think I have the clip. Let's look at that again, guys. I think I posted it on X. Where's it at? Cooked her, bro.
Policies like she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went
cooked her, dude. Cooked her.
She went out.
Don't look at Trump. Don't look at Trump. Just keep your eyes on Kamala Harris. Look at this. Look at this. She didn't even know what to say.
14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now.
Look at her. Look at her.
If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out. In Minnesota.
She was not ready for that. Not ready for that at all. It was just all facial expressions. That's it. That's all she had. That's all she had. He eviscerated her, dude. It's a huge viral clip right now, especially on my ex. Jeez, dude. Run, spot, run. Run, spot, run.
They gave her that to say. Look, I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and many of those professors, the top professors, think my plan is a brilliant plan. It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. And just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, we'll try and lower taxes.
Bodied.
She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
Yeah, it's all an act. It's all an act. She's trying to act like Trump is incompetent. I feel bad for him, like he's Biden. Nah, it's not working. Not working. Trump is fully cognitively eviscerating you. W Trump, man. W Trump, dude. W Trump tonight. Handled the abortion issue exactly the way I said I've been saying he needs to. Stop getting baited into it. Keep saying what you've done. It's the state's issue. From W tonight. Of course, he won the debate. And of course, President Trump highlighting and representing to the cats and the animals being eaten in Ohio. Shout out to the orange man holding it down. This was a good night. This was good for Trump. And yeah, it's pretty obvious. It's obvious that she wants a rematch. She wants a rematch because she needs the momentum. She needs this. She needs more and more and more. Honestly, Trump doesn't need to do it. And now that she's already called for it first, let's see. Let's look at the ABC poll. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. Breaking news. ABC poll. ABC poll debate. Holy crap. They tried to rig the debate for Kamala Harris. They did. It was a 3-on-1 ABC poll. Which candidate won the debate? 92% Trump, 4% Kamala Harris. Oh my gosh. Total Trump W. W's in the chat. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. On the Rigged Network, the Rigged Network's own poll, 92% for Trump. W. Trump won. 4% for Kamala. Oh God. That's why they gave her this data. They gave her this data, and that's why she's calling for a second debate. Woo! Oh my gosh, dude. Kamala Harris, L's in the chat. Eviscerated, dude. Holy crap. This is the only poll that matters, guys. Screw CNN, screw MSNBC, screw Fox News. The fake news media, ABC News, they rigged this damn debate against Trump in favor for Kamala Harris. 3-on-1. Who won the debate? Their own ABC poll. 92% Donald J. Trump. 07's in the chat. Holy crap, dude. Oh my gosh, this is bad. This is so bad. Oh man, this is why I wore the bloodbath MAGA hat tonight, guys. That's bad. Oh my gosh, dude. That's not Fox News. That's ABC. Jeez, dude. Screenshot that and share that with all of your friends, dude. She got bodied. There it is. That's the L. Trump won. Trump won. We all knew that. Trump won. It's official. Even ABC's own poll is indicating Trump won. I told you nobody was going to buy that. Hold on, I gotta tweet this. I gotta tweet this. Holy crap, dude. That is insane. Insane. Hold on. I gotta retweet this, dude. This is jeez, bro. They can't wiggle out of that because that's their own poll. You know what I'm saying, my Riga? Who posted this? Who posted this? Where the hell is it? Get him the hell out. What does Trump say? Get him the hell out. Oh, yeah, I'm a happy camper, man. I'm a happy camper. Hold on, I'm trying to see. It looks like Libs of TikTok posted that and then deleted it. So hold on, let me confirm this. That may have been a Fox poll somewhere else, but still, that's a bad look, dude. Let's take a look. So this is what was posted. She deleted it. livenowfox.com/connect. But it looks like this is being shared. Okay, maybe this was shared by Fox and the title was ABC News. So let's continue to wait and see. I think that's probably why she deleted it. So we want to be accurate here. But we'll see what the ABC News poll ends up being. But still, a lot of polls, they're all coming out saying Trump won. That's what I'm seeing everywhere. That's what I'm seeing everywhere. Yeah, that was Libs of TikTok that posted that, and then she deleted it. And hold on. Let me go over here real quick. Hold up. Hold on. I definitely want to see the CNN one, too. That's for sure. But voters on CNN, dude. This tweet is still up. Voters on CNN openly stating that they were better under Trump is not a good look. Not a good look at all. Not a good look at all. But that's also why they dropped the Taylor Swift endorsement. That was all that was calculated, pre-planned, obviously, to give momentum. I'm telling you, they need the momentum. They need that. They need that. They need that. Let's see. I know C-SPAN. Let's look at C-SPAN. Take a look at this. Hold on. I want to cover it as it happens, man. Simulcast. This is what I got right now. Here's a C-SPAN poll. This is on their X. Who won the ABC News presidential debate? 70.4% Donald Trump. 29.6% Kamala Harris. He's already in the lead. Already in the lead. Yeah, that other poll that Libs of TikTok posted and deleted must have been like a local Fox News affiliate poll. Jeez, dude. Yep. Run, Spot, run. Run, Spot, run. Yeah, but she's calling for another matchup because it didn't go well. That's for sure. Well, and again, they need it. They need the momentum. They need it because they have nothing else. They have nothing else. Honestly. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. Let's go to the chat. I want to see what you guys have to say. We'll go to the chat. I'll still monitor some of this news. Okay, here's CNN's rigged poll. Here we go. Breaking. This is Kamala's wins. According to just released CNN polling, 63% of Americans believe Kamala Harris won tonight's debate. This was a huge victory. Yeah, that's why she's asking for a rematch immediately. right? That's why she's asking for a rematch immediately, because they need that momentum. They need that momentum. That's right. That's right. So this looks like, yeah, I'm going to go back to this just to clarify my reporting. So it looks like this is a Fox News affiliate channel, livenowfox.com/connect. And their title is ABC News Presidential Debate because they probably live streamed ABC News like we are. And this poll has indicated 92% for Donald J. Trump, 4% for Kamala Harris. And so obviously the fake news, the leftist media, is going to glaze Kamala Harris because that's their job. That's what they do, and that's what they have to do. Because they're not there for the truth. You know, it's the typical, you know, what we always have to deal with. You know, that's not new to anybody at all. We were just so used to a collapsed Joe Biden, right? I mean, even Joe Biden for the past, you know, before the Kamala coup, they were glazing Joe Biden, lying, telling us that he's great. But if anyone's wondering if Trump was telling the truth about the Virginia governor talking about, yeah, post-birth abortions, here's the clip that Trump was talking about. All right, let's fact check Trump. Take a look.
No exception. There was a very contentious committee hearing yesterday when Fairfax County Delegate Kathy Tran made her case for lifting restrictions on third trimester abortions, as well as other restrictions now in place. And she was pressed by a Republican delegate about whether her bill would permit an abortion, even as a woman is essentially dilating, ready to give birth. And she answered that it would permit an abortion at that stage of labor. Do you support her measure and explain her answer?
Yeah, and I wasn't there, Julie, and I certainly can't speak for Delegate Tran, but I would tell you, first thing I would say is this is why decisions such as this should be made by providers, physicians, and the mothers and fathers that are involved. There are, when we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable. So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between...
as to whether or not the baby will live or die. So they'll keep the baby alive. The baby will be born. The baby will be kept alive. And then the mother and the doctor, he's about to say it, will have a conversation as to whether or not this baby is going to live or die. Whether we keep it alive or we just allow it to, we don't keep it alive. We just kill it.
The physicians and the mother. So family desired. And then there's in labor. I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of proportion. But again, we want the government not to be involved in these types of decisions. We want
yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Decision to be made by the mothers and their providers. And this is why, Julie, that legislators, most of whom are men, by the way, shouldn't be.
What he's saying is a conversation will take place between the mother and the physician as to whether or not they'll keep the baby alive or allow the baby to die. That's what he's saying in the context of an abortion. That's late-term abortion, murder.
Telling a woman what she should and shouldn't be doing with her body.
Oh, no, we will tell women you can't kill babies. We will tell them. We should give women the death penalty for getting abortions. It's murder.
I think multiple physicians should have to weigh in, as is currently required. She's trying to lift that requirement.
Well, I think it's always good to get a second opinion, and for at least two providers to be involved in that decision, because these decisions shouldn't be taken lightly. And so, I would certainly support more than one provider.
All right, let's go back to the phones now for the governor.
That's what Trump was talking about. Yes. He was talking about a post-birth abortion, which is murder. It's murder no matter what. So we fact-check Trump, fact-check true. Everything Kamala says is a lie. Yeah, I don't know about these earrings, man. What do you guys think? The Nova H1 audio earrings, earphones embedded in earrings. Nova H1 audio earrings, the first and only wireless earphones embedded in a pair of pearl earrings on a gold or silver plated clip. Yeah, I'd have to look into this. I don't know how you hear from this. This is my first time ever looking at it. I'd have to look into it. Sign up for updates. That looks like it. Looks exactly like it. This is my first time ever looking at it. I'd have to look into it. Sign up for updates. That looks like it. Looks exactly like it. I don't know, chat. What do you guys think? It could be why she was talking so slowly, honestly. It could be why. It could be why she was talking so slowly. Because that would make sense. But I mean, is anybody surprised that she would have an earpiece? No matter what, it's going to be rigged against Trump. No matter what. Is that the same earring? I'm trying to... I'd have to get a good look at it. Sorry, my feed is like on fire right now. Is that the same thing? Damn, dude, that looks pretty close, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Nova audio earrings. Nova audio earrings are clip-on earrings that double as headphones. One of the coolest things I've seen at CES 2023 so far. Ah, dude, that looks just like it. That's crazy. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. She can't speak on her own. She's retarded, chat. She is retarded. Oh, man, dude. But Trump W. Trump won, dude. Trump W, dude. When you have voters on CNN saying, yeah, my life is better under Trump. I don't trust Kamala Harris. She's had enough time to do this. Yeah, you lost the debate, dude. You lost. You lost. Trump won. Apparently the Onion posted this. Fact check. Trump. People don't leave my rallies. True. They're carried out in body bags. Wow, dude. Wow. Steal, kill, and destroy. That's all they know is death. That's all they know is death. Yeah, it looked like that. It looks like that. That earring she was wearing looks like it, dude. I mean, I would not be surprised at all. It almost even looks like the moderators were wearing the same earrings. The women. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trump killed it, dude. He killed it. I am very happy with his performance. Dude, the more and more I look at her damn earring, it looks like way oversized. Look at this. Here's from a video clip. Look at that. Like, here, let's play this without audio. Just look at Kamala. Look how the earring just keeps... It just wiggles way too much. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that works. I'm gonna go research that once I'm done here. You know what? Let's look it up.
Of the voters in a free and fair election.
Hold on. What is it called? Yeah, dude. She probably had an earpiece. H1 Nova audio earrings. See if we can see like a demonstrated video. H1 Nova audio earrings. Bro, look at this, dude. Is this it? Do this.
Hello.
Dude, exactly. Let me see if I can pull that shot up again. Oh, where's my ex? Look at that. Look at that, chat. What? Oh, wrong one. Okay, dude, look at that. It looks just like it. It's the same thing. Oh, yeah, dude. She's got an earpiece on. She's got an earpiece. Yeah, she's got an earpiece. That's why she was talking so slowly. I'm convinced. I'm convinced, dude. Look at that, dude. It's the same thing. These riggers, dude. These pesky riggers, I'm telling you. Jeez. Dude, I think, are they all wearing them? Look at the moderator. Are they all wearing them? Look at that, dude. Riggers, dude. Riggers going rig. Look at this. Here's a better shot. Take a look at this. I'm going to put it full shot for you guys. Look at that, dude. Okay, there's hers. Dude. Bro. Look at that. Bro. These new wireless earbuds double as pearl-studded earrings. Yeah. Yeah, I think she had an earpiece, dude, for sure. For sure. She should do it without earrings. Yeah, they need to get this to Trump. They need to get this to Trump. Yeah, of course the CNN poll is going to go for Kamala Harris. Oh, here we go. Look. Here we go. More voters on CBS. Take a look at this. Guys, this is just crazy. Look at this. Look at this.
She just basically repeated everything that Biden has said in the past.
What were your thoughts? She made, Donald Trump made a strong closing statement by saying, why didn't they do all the things that she's proposing during the 3.5 years that they've been in office? And Biden did this entire moderate stance back in 2020, and she's trying to do it again in 2024, but she didn't talk about her policy changes between 2020 and 2024. Her whole centrist moderate stance is just a facade.
Woo! Oh, man, yeah. Not good. That's why she wants another debate. Not good. Not good. She had an earpiece, dude. She had an I'm convinced. She had an earpiece, dude. She had an earpiece. That's why she wants round two. That's why she wants round two. Let me see if I have, is there like a video of someone using these things? Let's see.
I wish my TV provider let me.
All right, that's an ad on YouTube.
I'm at Eureka Park at CES 2024, and we're here with IcePack Sound Solutions, and they have these new Nova H1 audio earrings. So
no way.
It sounds like it is, I guess. Earrings that have speakers in it, and it plays music for you. But let's get into more details with it, because I'm new here, and it looks great. I just saw the gold and came over, so what can you tell me about it?
Exactly. So basically, what we have here are earrings with pearls. So these are real freshwater pearls, and this is silver, and the other one is gold. And all of the technology inside is basically in the pearl. So everything you need, everything you have in a normal headphone, you have in these ones as well. So you can just clip them on, you can wear them all day, and you can listen to music, make phone calls, all of the important things. But you also have a nice, you know, kind of look to it.
Yeah. I can see that you're wearing them. I just noticed.
Yeah, I'm wearing them actually.
They look great. They look just like earrings.
Thank you.
So, do they have any touch controls on them too?
No,
or is it just,
no.
So just control it on your phone?
Yeah,
right?
on the phone, exactly.
And I guess I gotta feel them. I guess they're pretty lightweight, or how do they feel?
Yeah, you can also grab one. I normally don't wear earrings, so these are the only ones I wear, and they're not too heavy for me at all. So
And they just clip right onto your ear.
Exactly. We have some with studs as well.
So you can't put them in your ear.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Which gives them a better hold, but you can wear them like that as well. I wear them like that. It's fine.
And so, is this a charging case too?
Yes, exactly. You just put them in there, and that's it. You charge them.
And what was the battery life on these?
So, if you listen to music constantly, it's about 4.5 hours.
Look at that.
But if you put them on and they're paired to your phone, you can go like days like that.
Oh, so just wear them as earrings and then they're just ready to go.
Exactly, and they're paired to your phone. They have a battery-saving mode to them, and then whenever you want to listen to music, you just turn them on, and that's it.
And then we have the microphone here, and what is this something?
Oh no, this is for the pairing, and the battery is in the back, so that you can charge them.
And then with the charging case, what's the battery life with that? How many charges can you do?
So you can do like really tons of charges with that one, so really no issue with that. You can do like, I don't know how many, it's a lot.
Now this is, I have earrings on. I don't know if I should snap them off real quick, maybe? Yeah, maybe, let's do it. I want to see how they feel.
This gay guy.
Of course.
And so how do you do this? This part goes in the back?
So yes, let me help you maybe. So these ones are, this is actually the left one.
Oh, so they're different. Okay. How do you tell which one's which? And
it says left and right here.
Obviously.
Because actually, otherwise the microphone is in the wrong direction, and when you speak on the phone with somebody, they can't really hear you that well if it's the other way around. So don't do that.
Okay.
So let me just clip that on. Yeah, and that's it.
It feels good.
Look at that.
I was surprised when you said it was a real pearl.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a piece of plastic over it.
No, this is a real pearl, and it's actually pretty difficult to make it because you have to fit all the technology inside this little pearl. So yeah.
That's great. And how much do these cost? Are they available now?
So we are not selling to customers right now. We're only looking for other businesses.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately not.
All right. But it's very cool to see.
Thank
it's
you.
Very nice because they're also open ear, and I've seen
Wait, so you can't buy these? Were these exclusively given to Kamala Harris?
Open ear headphones come out, but they're big and bulky, and this is.
No, you can still have conversations with somebody, and they won't even notice that you're listening to music.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. And then you just snap it right off.
It's the same as AirPods. You can speak both ways.
Okay, I like these. Very cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this.
So you can't buy these? This video was made 6 months ago. Wow. Hold on. Let's see if I can find these anywhere. Bro, if you can't buy these, for sure these were given to Kamala Harris. Buy. Pearl, is this it? I don't see it, dude. I don't see it. But regardless, I think Kamala Harris had she had an earpiece on. That's crazy, dude. No surprise, because she's retarded. She can't talk on her own. She can't talk. Here are some new polls that have just been released. Trump War Room just dropped this on X. Newsmax Snap poll. Who won the debate? 93% Donald Trump, 6% Kamala Harris. C-SPAN currently right now with 22 hours and 44 minutes to go. C-SPAN 36%, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump 64%. Insider Paper poll, Trump versus Harris. Who won the presidential debate? Donald Trump 78%, Kamala Harris 13%, 9% not sure. Leading report, who won the debate? Trump 91%, Harris 9%. Wow. Wow. Unreal, dude. What a night. What a night. What a night. Let's take a look at the chat. I want to see what you guys have to say. Let's take a look at the chat. Let's take a look at our Rumble rants for the night. VA mixed for $2.
Would not. I did see that post. That post was from, at least the post I saw was from Leading Report. And I don't know who runs that Leading Report account. So we do have a few things to discuss. I hope you're doing well on this Thursday. Hope everybody's doing great. Good to see all of you here. Yes, the chat. I was not late. Look at that. I was not late. You can't get mad at me. But yes, the first thing we're going to talk about is, of course, Trump, the man, the myth, the legend, says no. No to a debate, a third debate or a second debate. When a prize fighter loses a fight, the first words out of his mouth, the first words out of his mouth are, "I want a rematch." Polls clearly show that I won the debate against Comrade Kamala Harris, the Democrats' radical left candidate, on Tuesday night, and she immediately called for a second debate. She and Crooked Joe have destroyed our country with millions of criminals and mentally deranged people pouring into the USA, totally unchecked and unvetted. And with inflation bankrupting our middle class, everyone knows this, and all of the other problems caused by Kamala and Joe. It was discussed in great detail during the first debate with Joe and the second debate with Comrade Harris. She was a no-show at the Fox debate and refused to do NBC and CBS. Kamala should focus on what she should have done during the last almost 4-year period. There will be no third debate. No third debate. I honestly think this is the right call for Trump. I know that there's going to be an argument that the left is going to weaponize this and call him scared. That is a retarded argument, okay? It's an absolutely retarded argument. Do you know what the left is going to do if Donald Trump takes the debate? They're still going to call him every name under the book. Trump has to make the best decision possible, and right now he is playing this as good as he possibly can. She's the one that started begging for a debate. She's the one that started begging for a debate right after, and now he is taking full advantage of that. This is the right move by Trump. Don't give them anything. She backed out of the Fox News debate. He's already debated Joe Biden, and he beat him so bad Joe Biden had to end his campaign, okay? And then he agreed to this ridiculous debate with ABC and Kamala Harris, and ABC showed their hand and really made everything look bad. And so now Trump is playing this perfectly. I 100% support this. Look, for grifting reasons, I would love to have another debate, okay? I'd love to have another 10,000 people watching, but I don't really care about that. I care about Donald Trump winning the election, and I think this is the right move. I think this is the right move for Trump, and so I'm glad that he did that. He's also Trump being Trump on social media right here. Trump is posting these Trump is posting this on social media right now, dude. Like, what is going on? This is great. Kamala hates me. Trump is posting these memes right now. This is the greatest thing ever. I love it. Trump is the best. So yes, I fully support his decision to not debate again. I think it's a good call. Based cats. That's right. Based cats. Then you have RFK. So the White House finalizing plans to expand where Ukraine can hit inside Russia. RFK Jr. says, these guys are going to get us into World War III, the warmonger's dream since 1961. Finally, they have a president and a VP happy to go along with it. 1,000%. 1,000%. That's what they're going to do. That's what they want to do. And hopefully people can wake the hell up and do what's right in November, because it's downright scary. It's downright scary. And I guess we're going to see. Let me read a few of these member messages that just came in. Let's see where you guys are at. Jared the American says, hail to 199. Jeremy, I might have to cancel my membership because of money. Prepare for the succession if Harris wins. Also, Fuentes re-endorsed Trump, MAGA 199. Yeah, I totally understand that, man. You got to, like I've said 1,000 times, I don't deserve anybody's money. It's your choice if you ever want to give, me or Geeks and Gamers money, but you don't ever have to give me a dime to enjoy our content. So you got to do what's best for you and your family first and foremost. So I totally understand, brother. Crimson Raptor says, I feel like we're finally turning a cultural corner. 2020, we could see woke leftism on the rise, and now more people are speaking out against it. MAGA. 100%. Things are definitely turning for sure. We're not out of the woods yet, though. Not even close. AB says, if you get Don Jr., ask him if his dad will support antitrust. Yeah, after the whole tenant media thing, I personally told the people that were going to try to make some phone calls, I just said, look, man, I got to imagine that they're going to stay away from pretty much anybody they don't know at this point in time. I wouldn't even bother with it. That all happened, and whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. But it's not really a priority of mine to interview Trump. It would be a cool opportunity. I'm not going to lie, but it's not something that I'm actively looking to do. I'm just happy that I'm able to turn on a camera and talk with all of you and give my opinions. So that's my focus right there. That's my focus. Lean back, have a snack, take a nap for 20. Jeremy is broke. He needs our help. He only owns one hoodie and his shoes are old, worn, and full of holes. He calls them Crocs because he'd rather sound gay than poor. It's okay.